What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1044 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my guest co-host on a Thursday. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. My name is Olivia Dasovic, and I am the community manager here at Timcast. We also have another guest in the studio today. I'm super excited.
What's up? What's up, Dasovics? What's up, people? It is your boy Brando. I am back. I am what is being referred to recently here as a utility knife here at Timcast. So,
Swiss Army knife.
He is the Swiss Army knife of the company at this point.
I dabble in everything: production, filming, skateboarding, talent, guesting.
Yeah,
you know.
go.
Now I'm checking all the shots to make sure everything is like. I didn't have a chance. I was just doing so much before the show. I didn't have a chance to set everything up properly. My fault, ladies and gentlemen. My fault. What you guys should do, however, and thank you guys both for joining me today, what you guys that are watching should do is hit the like button on this episode, please, and subscribe to the channel. If you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already, please and thank you. Share the episodes out with your friends and your family and your loved ones, people in your life that you like. Even the people in your life that you don't like. I'm sure there's somebody out there that you want to share this show with. Then you can go down in the comment section and argue about it with them. I would love it if people did that, because that doesn't just allow you the opportunity to argue with people. It allows you to increase our channel engagement. And let's face it, that is the name of the game when you're on YouTube and Rumble, so you should go ahead and do that. What are we getting into today? We've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. It was one of those days where it didn't feel like, to me, like we had a big lead story. We could have talked about the Resident Evil trailer, but we can't watch trailers on this channel without the video getting demonetized, so that was out. I did share my thoughts about it on X, so you could go check that out if you wanted to. But we're going to talk about Emily Blunt. Obviously, Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming out here soon. She did an interview, and she gave perhaps what I would like to think of as some of the worst advice you could ever give another human being. You're going to have to stay tuned if you want to know just how bad it was. But it's not like the idea of celebrities, out-of-touch, rich celebrities giving advice that doesn't actually ring true with the common man is anything new, but it is always funny to point and laugh at them when they do it. So we will talk about Emily Blunt. We're also going to talk about Evangeline Lilly from Marvel, obviously, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, well, I guess Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, the sequel to the sequel. She has some choice words from Marvel after finding out that they laid off their entire visual effects department, amongst other employees that were laid off, over 1,000 of them over at Disney. Over at Disney. So we're going to get into her words. We'll talk a little bit about why Marvel is in such dire straits. We'll connect it perhaps to the falling ratings of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which I am sure Brandon will have plenty to say about. So we will talk about that. We're also going to talk about the fact that Netflix is going to be investigated by the FCC related to their ratings of children's shows. There was a great article. Saw it like 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago, and just never got around to it. But we will talk about it today. We are also going to talk about a bunch of other stuff. It's going to be an interesting show. So if everybody is ready, we can all go ahead and get started. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Are you ready?
Let's get it.
All right. Before we get started, though, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to draw your attention to the fact that we have a sponsor for this episode, Cast Brew Coffee. And I want to remind you guys all that Mother's Day is, in fact, coming up. And as sons and daughters, the ones who love our parents, it is our job to deliver on gifts for Mother's Day. And this is one you could get with an easy win this year. It's the Cast Brew Mother's Day Bundle. You get 2 bags of coffee, or the boxes if you want to go with the pods. I know some people prefer the pods as opposed to the bags of coffee. Plus, you get a Vault Black cold brew, which of course everyone knows I love a good cold brew coffee, so it's perfect whether she wants the hot coffee or the cold coffee. And it comes in ground, whole bean, or pods, so there's no having to guess what your mom is drinking.
And you have one right there.
Exactly.
You should show them.
I have that one right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Black.
It is a great deal, about 20% off. It's $49.99 for the ground, or $39.99 for the pods. It is a very simple gift, and it's awesome. And I think it's something that every mom would like, because moms love to drink coffee.
They need their caffeine, yeah.
They absolutely do. So it's a simple gift. I think it's one she will actually use, and it will deliver you a home run as a son or a daughter. So you can go and check out castbrew.com. It's on the screen right there. Link is in the description below. And thank you, Cast Brew, for sponsoring this episode. Get your mom some gifts for
expectant mothers.
For Mother's Day, exactly.
Expectant mothers,
I pitched my own Cast Brew coffee idea, which was, I think it was What was it? I think you were there for it. It was
I?
Brando's big, beautiful bean bag.
That's right.
And I wanted to have it just be
a bag of beans.
just a bag of beans.
Sense.
Yeah, essentially.
Yes, and he made sure to give the gesture so we knew what it
Big,
was
beautiful bean
referencing.
bag.
Like this. All right,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about the FCC and Netflix. They are under investigation.
Yeah, so the Federal Communications Commission has decided to poke a fight at one of the biggest corporate media issues that they insist is not actually a problem. Under Chairman Brendan Carr, the agency is asking whether the television's industry rating system is actually telling parents the truth. The FCC's Media Bureau opened a public comment period this week with initial responses due by May 22nd and replies by June 22nd. The filing sits under MB docket number 1941, and that may sound like a bunch of bureaucratic nonsense, but the issue behind it is not. It goes to whether parents can trust the labels slapped on the content that their children watch. Carr put it bluntly on X, parents have raised concerns with the industry's approach, including the ratings creep. Specifically, they argue that New York and Hollywood programmers are promoting controversial issues in kids' programming without providing any transparency or disclosing to parents. This undermines the whole point of the law and the rating system they rely on. Now, it's important to know the rating system does go back to a 1996 law that basically pushed the industry to create a voluntary standard, which that is very important later in this article. It's used across networks, cable, satellite, and streaming, just like platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Paramount. The FCC does not directly enforce those ratings, but it does review whether the system works as intended. That is a polite way of saying that the agency can call out a system that looks honest on paper but plays games in practice. The Media Bureau is not hiding their concerns. They are pointing to questions about accuracy where, quote, mature, adult, or inappropriate content is being rated as appropriate for young children. The FCC wants to ensure that the rating system continues to serve the purpose that Congress had in mind, empowering parents to make informed decisions for their children. A lot of times parents are left in the dark, which the craziest part of this is that, you know, obviously there are discussions we've seen about gender identity that have been in children's television, but not everybody at the FCC was actually on board with this. Commissioner Ana Gomez dismissed the effort as misplacing. American families are worried about affordability, access, and rising costs, not whether the TV rating system has enough warnings about gender identity. And she said that the complaint is this is a solution in search of a problem.
Okay, so there might be an argument to be made that it's a solution in search of a problem, but like it's not the like different government bureaus have different purposes.
Yeah.
The FCC doesn't seem to really be the ones that are worried about affordability. That's not really the purpose of the FCC.
Well, also, this has been an issue in the past. We've seen this. We've seen the clips of, what was the non-binary donkey or whatever that was, that one show. We've seen this coming out with different Disney movies that they've been labeled E or G, I guess, technically, or whatever you want to call it. I said E. It's a different rating system. But it basically means like guardian present, suggested, whatever. And they have things like gay couples kissing. And again, these are conversations for parents to have with their kids, not for entertainment, to be shoving down these kids' throats, basically. And
Wait,
they
so
try to
G
sneak it in
is,
there.
I was holding back the G for gay thing.
No, Y is for all audiences.
Y is for all. I'm talking about movies.
Yeah.
Movies usually aren't Y, they're G.
There is a TVG, which I don't really ever see.
Okay, I was thinking like
general?
movies.
So TVY
yeah.
is designed for all children, appropriate for all ages. Y7 is another one directed to older children,
Older than 7.
suitable for children 7 and older, with FV for fantasy violence sometimes used. TVG, which is general audiences, suitable for all ages, though not specifically for children.
And there's like
And
what,
then
TV 13?
PG.
Yeah.
That was like the base
14,
rating was G.
And MA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'm thinking of movies because usually
Yeah.
movies are rated G, PG,
Yes.
PG-13, and R. So that's what I was thinking of. But yes, there are TV ratings as well. I think it's crazy to dismiss it as like American families are worried about affordability as if they can be worried about one single thing and not have multiple concerns. Like, the thing is, you might be worried about where your kid's getting, if you can put food on the table, but you're also going to be worried about what's in your children's content that they're learning. That's part of being a parent, is caring about what they're consuming, what they're looking at. It's very important. I don't understand why this Ana Gomez person is trying to basically kind of just say, oh, it's misplaced. It's not misplaced. That's what the FCC does. That's exactly where it should be happening. It's exactly why we need this to be happening. So saying it's a solution in search of a problem, there's already been a problem. The problem has been happening for years now with things being put in children's content that shouldn't be there, that parents wouldn't approve of.
Well, I guess their argument is not even that it shouldn't be there, but there should be fair warning given to them, and Netflix isn't giving them that.
Well,
fair
it's the
warning.
ratings, right? So they're saying TVY, saying, oh, yeah, your 3-year-old can watch this, and then you have the little donkey going, I'm non-binary, and it's like, okay.
Well, and Gomez's argument is that doesn't matter, and realistically, no one actually cares. They're more concerned with the affordability and the rising costs than they are about the content that their children are watching.
I mean, there's probably an argument to be made there. I mean, it does feel these days that
Sure,
parents are less connected to their kids,
in which case you can't bitch when you find out what they're watching. I mean, if you're the kind of parent, no offense, but offense, if you hand your kid a tablet every morning and walk away for 12 hours, you know, like, I mean, and then you're pissed off later about what they've been watching, it's like, okay, well, you know, maybe supervise your kid a little bit.
Well, but I also think it's important that, again, like the ratings thing, you might say your kid should, if you're able to supervise and somehow they're still watching this thing, because kids are sneaky. Like what they always say about strict parents, they raise sneaky kids, not obedient kids, which is probably true. My parents were not that strict, but I think saying that there's not a problem already is just kind of disingenuous. Saying like they're all worried about affordability. I mean, sure, but there was a problem. Like it would be inaccurate to say that this wasn't something that parents have complained about.
Yeah, you can't tell me that there isn't at least one situation with a parent out there that wants to be warned what their kids are watching. And if there's even one parent out there that wants that, then it should be available to said parent. It's not a blanket massive thing.
Well, and that's why Daily Wire tried to do Bent Key, because parents could trust what their kids were watching, whereas I know Ben Shapiro has said this, other parents have said this, they will watch a movie before they let their kids watch it because the ratings aren't as accurate as they should be.
Yeah, and that's completely acceptable in my opinion.
So it went on here. It says, here's the uncomfortable part of the industry. The rating system is voluntary, yet nearly every major platform still uses it. This only works if viewers believe the labels mean something. If a rating like TVY or TVG quietly stretches to include material parents would want to review first, the system stops being guidance and starts looking like marketing. No one is arguing that difficult topics can't be handled with care. The question is whether parents are given clear heads up before these topics appear in shows that are aimed at younger audiences. Transparency is not censorship. It is the bare minimum for a system that claims to help families make informed decisions. I mean, that's what's going to be claimed, is they're going to claim that this is a move towards censorship of some sort.
Of course. Well, it wouldn't be censorship if they were doing it, but that's okay. That's just, I mean, either side does that.
Maybe I'm a bit jaded, but I don't know. Like, I would like to believe that more people than you might expect actually sit down with their kids and inspect, the rating system on the things they're choosing to watch, as opposed to just putting their kids in front of a TV show or like you said, a tablet, and just expecting them to find it and not end up someplace with horrific stuff.
And I mean, if you got a rebellious kid, you got a rebellious kid. You know what I'm saying? As long as you've gone forth and set that guideline as a parent to say, hey, like, these are the kind of things that you should be looking at. This is the kind of stuff I don't want you watching. Usually, at least in my head, when I was a kid, that was my cue to, okay, well, when I get out of here, I'm going to go watch it with my friends. Because obviously you don't want me to see it, and that just makes me want to see it even more. So I get that there's going to be that kind of thing, but at least having that boundary line set with that, that parenting is a huge thing.
There seems to also be maybe perhaps just a worldview difference where the conservatives believe that any topic that involves a transgender character should immediately spike the rating, whereas the liberals, they don't see it that way.
Yeah, but that's a theme that a parent should be able to at least be able to teach their child before a TV show does. So, for example, my parents could trust me to watch Disney Channel growing up, which was my favorite, and know that it was like sometimes there were like crude jokes in there that went right over my head because they were made for adults. That's kind of why they did it. Disney's famous for that. But there were so many times where he could leave the room, I could watch it, and it wouldn't be anything like unsavory, anything about gender identity. And it's not that gender identity, I mean, gender identity to me, it's like, okay, you're a male or female, whatever. But if you want to make the argument gender identity exists, fine. But why does that need to be in kids' content? That is not a kid's concept. That's a concept that you can't comprehend. There are certain things you can't comprehend until you get older. And I mean, I don't even think, like, I know middle schoolers have access to phones and stuff. I don't want my kids having smartphones until they're responsible enough to get a job.
21.
Not 21.
That's when we're going to give them smartphones.
Like 15, 16, when they start
21.
working a first job.
They get a dumb phone at 15, and then they can have a smartphone when they move out.
Well, they can have a smartphone when they go to college. I don't want them to be like the kid that has no friends at all in college because of that. But I want our kids to be able to speak to it, like be able to know they can talk to us about these issues and not learn all about it online. I think now media is so prolific that what the FCC is doing wouldn't inherently change it, right? Because I think there's so much access to all this stuff, just Googling it on a phone, on a laptop, on whatever. But I think it's still smart to try as much as you can to kind of filter that if that's something that's important to you. I think the idea is that they don't classify gender identity as something that should be Y7 or PG or whatever. They classify it as Y right now, or, you know, they don't consider it as part of like a violation. I think it's a parent-child conversation. I don't want it in the schools. I don't want it in the media that's made for children specifically. I think it's just kind of evil.
Just
like,
play them old Disney stuff. That's every parent that I've talked to.
Oh, I will. They'll be watching Hannah Montana.
I was gonna say, how old are we going back in the Disney catalog,
I wasn't
though?
even
Like,
thinking Hannah Montana. I was thinking farther back than that.
But I'm saying,
you
like,
know.
I grew up on Hannah Montana, and it really wasn't that. Like, there were jokes now that I look back on it, I'm like, oh.
Like, are we I was gonna say, are we going back as far as like the Muna and the Juna and the Springa, where it was the bird that used to sing and his dad hated it, so he used to beat his ass?
Okay,
I
maybe
wasn't
not
going
that.
that far back.
Because that's where the core values of Disney came in and said it was okay to discipline your child and also be racist against Jewish people. I think was also something in there. Maybe.
Oh, well, Walt Disney was
Maybe I got the
very
race wrong. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Like, Walt Disney and Henry Ford are both famously anti-Semitic and
that
are
true?
viewed as... Yes. Hitler loved Henry Ford.
Some of the old cartoons,
Loved
man, that
Henry
got
Ford.
banned were like,
Oh, yeah, like the... Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Like, I seen some of these like on TV too, and I just remember like not even didn't even seem like it was a thing. It was just normal at the time, and then like afterwards you realize looking back, you're like, oh my god, this was like really, really racist.
So bad. Like, you watch it as an adult, you're like, it's kind of funny. Yeah.
All right.
Terrible.
Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk, well, since we were already talking about Netflix, let's keep talking about the industry at large. Let's talk about Disney. As you guys know, they recently laid off over 1,000 people, including pretty much the entirety of the Marvel visual development team, and that has kind of caused a ripple effect throughout the industry. We're gonna watch this video from producer Patrick, and then we're gonna watch this video of Evangeline Lilly responding to it. So you will see certain aspects of the clips in multiple parts, but I want you guys to be able to get the full context of what we're talking about so that you can understand where she was coming from when she was criticizing Disney. Hey, we love criticizing Disney over here, but this is one of those ones kind of like in the way that the lady from She-Hulk criticized Disney after she wasn't in the stuff anymore. It always comes off as maybe a little bit sour grapes, but let's listen to this first and then we can talk about it. So here is the producer Patrick video.
The bloodbath at Disney and Marvel Studios.
This is from a couple weeks ago, so just there's some context there. But producer Patrick is one of the best dudes if you want to follow what's actually going on behind the scenes. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Just took the worst of it. Yesterday, the company laid off approximately 1,000 employees company-wide, and nearly the entire visual development team at Marvel was let go, including people who have been there over a decade, with only a skeleton crew kept on to coordinate outside contractors going forward. These are the artists who built the visual identity of the MCU,
1099s.
the concept designers, the world builders, and Disney just replaced them with the contractor model. The visual effects community saw this coming. For years, workers described an industry in crisis, one that was overworked, underpaid, and horribly micromanaged, with Marvel constantly demanding major changes, sometimes even just weeks before a release, and the on-screen quality reflected it. The Marvels became the lowest-grossing MCU film in history, and Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania massively disappointed. Box office analysts stopped calling Marvel releases sure bets and actually started calling them risk-loaded. And this is the first major restructuring move under new Disney CEO Josh D'Amaro, who took over.
No idea it was pronounced D'Amaro. Okay,
Before you move on, we have a 20.
go for it.
I was going to try to stop you at the beginning of that
No,
segment.
go for it.
All right, we have it from Pop Culture Junkie, and the current framework enforcement of this can only be applied to broadcast entities. Cable and streaming have complied voluntarily. Issues with gray areas in the rating system come up every so often. This is a new one.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. Well, it seems like they're actively trying to make inroads in there to push their view onto them.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to watch. All right. So producer Patrick gave you the breakdown of what was going on there. So let's listen to what, and notice that he mentioned Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That is important to this. So let's listen to what Evangeline Lilly has to say about it.
It's a bloodbath at Disney, and Marvel Studios just took the worst of it. Yesterday, the company laid off approximately 1,000 employees company-wide, and nearly the entire visual development team at Marvel was let go.
Before I spread this post, when I saw it on social media, I needed to fact check it. So I reached out to my good friend Andy Park, who was the genius behind creating the original Wasp supersuit and the original Wasp concept drawings for the film Ant-Man and the Wasp, and just said, is this true? Is this really what's happening? And he said, yeah, it's true. I have been let go. And I can't quite believe that Disney have let go of the artists who brought the current Marvel universe to life through their imagination and their genius. That the people who invented these characters in the first place, who designed them in the first place, are now...
Okay, not to be nitpicky, but they didn't invent them, but that's...
Yeah.
We'll continue.
It's not
being replaced
She's
by
been in the
AI.
sun too much.
AI
Yeah.
that will take their designs and take what those artists created and use it to create iterations of that.
This is something I've mentioned tons of times before on here. It came up during the last contract negotiations, during the last writers, and the last couple of industry strikes, which is that these artists now know, they're very much aware that when they create things for these big companies like Marvel, they know that their creations will be used to train AI, ostensibly training somebody else to one day take their job.
I am so sorry, Andy, and I am so sorry to every single one of the artists who were let go in the 1,000 artists that Disney fired.
Okay, so here's the thing. Nobody ever wants to see somebody lose their job, especially when it's somebody who's created something that's very, very important to you. Perhaps in your formative years, you were on the younger side and you were watching Marvel movies when they really, really hit their stride. And that was a very big part of your childhood. Or if you're older, perhaps you grew up reading Marvel comics and you loved Marvel comics, and seeing those characters brought to life visually on the big screen was something as successful as Marvel was through phase 1, 2, and 3. Nobody who loves that type of art is going to want to see somebody who created that art lose their job. I don't buy that. You know, as callous as some people are, I don't believe that. I do, however, believe that actions have consequences, and most of the time, the problems that we're looking at here were not the fault necessarily of the artists who were given unbelievably strict let me rephrase it. Given unbelievably ridiculous deadlines, told to remake things 5 or 6 times. They were being given rush jobs that would eventually lead to stuff looking horrible on screen. You put that, in conjunction with the fact that what Marvel did post Endgame, when we got into phase 4 and 5, writing wise didn't actually appeal to large audiences. Just in the last couple of years, you look at the failures of movies like Captain America, Brave New World, Thunderbolts. You can look at Fantastic Four, which didn't live up to the expectations people had for it. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, not making the money that a movie like that needed to make, given the expansive budgets for these movies. And cost cutting is going to eventually happen, and it ends up being a side effect for choosing to work for one of these large multinational companies that have that give huge budgets to their productions, but are technically always looking for ways to cut costs. Thoughts?
I know Brandon's a Daredevil fan. What do you think?
Well, we can talk about that too, because that was actually came up when we were talking about this beforehand, which is I think Daredevil isn't the side effect of Daredevil not doing well doesn't have to do with the visual effects. It has more to do with the writing from everything that I've seen.
Yeah.
But Daredevil Born Again Season 2's viewership plummeted by over 50%, just as they went over days ago. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is showing a major drop from Season 1, according to the latest Illuminate streaming data. The latest figures show that the company revealed that Daredevil Born Again Season 2 has accumulated 4,555,000 season views, as opposed to the 10 million hours watched and 652 million minutes watched to date. In comparison with that, in the same time frame, Illuminate shows that the numbers for Season 1 were just much higher. So the question is it the visuals? Is it the writing? I think it has more to do with the writing with Daredevil, but that's not really the point when it comes down to it. Marvel has been in a downward trajectory for some time now, and the first people to go were the ones that they could turn into independent contractors.
Not really a shocker there. I think you're in the right ballpark. I think it's the writing on this one. When I watched season 1, and Daredevil used to be like my favorite show like ever. I used to love the Netflix renditions of all these shows, but Daredevil was the king for me. And when you get into just the way that they've been writing, the way that they've been treating the characters, this entire last season, spoiler alert, has been just loaded with wokeness. Right down to just the way that the tactical teams are, just being played out like ice. There's just this constant protesting and all of this other stuff. The style has gotten weird. It's gotten massively away from the way that Netflix originally did it, which was very, very dry, but good in that sense. Like, Netflix had this kind of like background, realistic, dark kind of aura over it. Like Kingpin was a feared adversary. You weren't allowed to speak his name. He destroys Anatoly Ranskahov's head with a car door, just for embarrassing him when he was on a date. It's one of those things. He didn't even put him in a car. I'm not dealing with him here. Takes him, murders him. Like Fisk was feared. He's kind of sniveling now. They've really weakened his character. Like it's sad to see. Like, and I was excited after Born Again season 1. I was optimistic that they were going to turn it into something good. Even with everything that had happened, I was like, okay, I can see where this is going. It's kind of cool. They kept it a little dark. Like. Now it just feels like it's trying too hard. Like, from the way that like the characters are just, they F-bomb more than I do, which you guys know is a lot. And it just feels like they're kind of struggling to keep this kind of like bad boy, appeal that the Netflix rendition had, that this just isn't carrying in this season because of the way that it's been written.
We had 20 here from Corey Anderson. Says, boo-hoo, I will never feel bad for anyone that works in Hollywood. Did they cry when the auto plant workers lost their jobs and pensions? Don't care. I believe the term is learn to code.
All right. I mean, I guess, yeah, look, what do you guys think on the firing of all these people?
We got one more 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. Says, once Victoria Alonso left Marvel, some of the outright overworking at Marvel had died down, but it was still plenty prevalent. Some of these folks would get Marvel freelance work, but I sense a quality deficit is coming.
Probably. I mean, what do you guys think? I don't really know about this.
Well, I'm going to show you a little bit more of where I think that a lot of these problems come from and where layoffs tend to start happening. If you look here at the numbers for, say, Fantastic Four, again, Fantastic Four this is not an unknown quantity. Fantastic Four is a very, very well-known set of characters, right?
This particular movie was extremely CGI heavy, though.
So, but the point is it made $521 million at the box office on a budget of $200 million, not including marketing, which means it's not doing them any favors to do something like that. They're not making any money off that. The Thunderbolts was an even bigger flop than that was, and you look at Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. You can only have so many movies not work out at the box office before they have to start cutting costs. On top of that, here's the numbers for Thunderbolts. Again, Thunderbolts are characters that nobody, outside of Marvel diehards growing up would know any of those characters unless you were a Marvel fan beforehand or you read the comics. For the most part, pulled in $382 million at the box office. I actually
didn't hate that one.
And I heard people saying that they thought that one was going to make a ton of money. I'm like, they don't know.
It had the potential.
Nobody cares about Natalia.
Yeah.
They don't.
Well, it was the idea that they were going to be able to push kind of a intro to the new Avengers, like it was gonna be that step up to introduce the Avengers. Kind of, in phase 1, everyone had their kind of like their moment, right? Everyone got their movie, everybody got their introduction, and then we got the Avengers, like.
And that was the funny thing is that has ended up being what they criticized DC for rushing it in doing Justice League after just 2 movies. when they didn't have a build up to the
Well,
characters other than Man of Steel.
There was another side of that coin where it was people, you know, like with the Zack Snyder version, the Snack Zider. With the snack version, it is a snack version in comparison to Josh Whedon's.
Yelena,
it's terrible.
I said Natalia. I meant Yelena. I got Natasha. And
I didn't even catch that, but yeah, 100% Yelena Belova. Yeah, train of thought just right out the window with that. But dude, honestly, I didn't hate that movie, but there were still some things like the way that they handled Taskmaster. I was just like, what the hell?
I mean, that was the same problem with Black Widow, though, right? They expected Taskmaster to be held, to be portrayed better, but wasn't.
Yeah, no, I honestly,
on top of the
I was into Black Widow too for like most of that movie, like the way that Taskmaster was introduced and everything like that, the way that they played it off, even the way that they rolled into it, you know, and it turns out to be, you know, well, Dreykov's, you know, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but Jesus Christ, go see it if you haven't already, and it's Dreykov's daughter. And I liked that they spun it that way, but it was just like, you know, in the comics and all of this stuff, Taskmaster was actually super, super feared.
Yes.
And the fighting style, the way that Taskmaster in this adapted and was fighting was realistic. It was the way that I would want that character to be portrayed. But the fallout of that was just terrible. And then to see how just quickly Taskmaster is just nothing, you know, in the Thunderbolts, you're just like, okay, that was a complete waste of a character. Like, that was awesome.
On top of the fact that they've overextended themselves with too many Disney Plus series and too many, you know, I guess the movies have been since pared back. We're only really getting Spider-Man this year.
The cancellation of Moon Knight.
That's in conjunction with Sony anyways.
Yep.
And then you get Doomsday, which is costing them a fortune to make.
Well, don't forget, they're also dropping this Mando Grogu movie.
I mean, it's Lucasfilm, but it's the same,
Disney.
It's in the same realm.
You know, it's still going to be,
and that movie's not going to make any money either.
That's what they were worried about that after the Super Bowl commercial. Yeah. Like, they knew already, okay, that didn't get the traction that we wanted it to. We're worried about it. And
I think it's like 70 million is the projection for the domestic opening.
And I'm in one of those positions where I need to go see it just to see it. So it's like, whether it gets shit reviews or not, I'm going to have to go see it. And I like to formulate my own opinions, because there's been times when people are like, this movie sucks and I like it.
It says Star Wars, The Mandalorian Grogu eyes $80 million bounty in U.S. opening. This is the early box office projection.
What was their budget, does it say?
I don't know what the budget on it is, but I'm sure it's well over $100 million. Somebody can go and double check with me.
We have another 20 here from Weary Traveler. I like to imagine somewhere deep in the Dasovic household, there is a pile of withering, discarded white shirts, howling in pain, in a pile on the floor, while these new shirts come out of the package smelling of spring.
I wash the white shirts now, guys, and rewear them. I don't throw them away.
He does. That's
just
one
for
thing.
Skating. They're just for skating, though.
That's one thing that is definitely... yeah, he's been a lot better about that. Now people are worried about me because I can't stop yawning because they keep mentioning me yawning.
You never stop yawning when you're on the show.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's got to be something related to like
you're
some
like
kind
breathing
of
wrong. You gotta learn how to breathe properly.
It's because of my panic disorder. I can't help it.
$166.4 million budget approximately for Mandalorian and Grogu. Is
Sounds
what they're
about
looking
right.
at here. Yeah, it says, well, it's not a $100 million opening to which we're accustomed to for a Star Wars movie. Duly note that it is still early in the campaign. I saw people, Star Wars shills, predicting a $2 billion box office for this movie. I wish I lived in a land that delusional. I do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. Let's talk about Billie Eilish, shall we?
Let's talk about her.
Don't yawn. Don't.
Why did you say that? Why did you say the word? Yeah, that is so... I'm going to have to yawn now. You're ruining the flow of the conversation. I hope you're happy. I can't do it now because I'm laughing. Whew, okay, Billie Eilish says that you cannot eat meat if you love animals. In a recent Elle interview, she said, quote, eating meat is inherently wrong. Two things cannot coincide. I love animals and I eat meat. You cannot do both. I was raised vegetarian, and I chose to stop eating all animal products when I was 12. No 12-year-old decides that.
Let's listen to the clip.
Yeah.
Just because we can. Here we go.
Y'all not gonna like me for this one. Eating meat is inherently wrong. And then the other thing is, two things cannot coincide. I love animals. I love all animals so much, and I eat meat.
That's not true, though, because I can say that Billie Eilish has made songs that don't suck, but she sucks. So two things can coincide at the same time.
Treated.
There you go.
Yeah, also kind of like chewing veggies with carnivore teeth.
Sorry. You can eat meat. Go for it. You can love animals, but you can't do both.
Okay.
God,
You're
that
not the
made
boss
wanna
of me.
die. That was not the cringe of the day, by the way, though that was
Continue.
quite awful. Well, we have a 20 really quick from Pop Culture Junkie. Thank you for another one. My goodness. He said, I've not heard any rumblings from my contacts at ILM about any cutbacks there. They do a lot of non-Disney work, but if you start hearing about layoffs up there and Presidito land, then you know things are getting bad. Okay.
I mean, look at it from a business standpoint. Anytime you're shelling out a bunch of money on a product and it's not returning on investment, layoffs happen.
Well, no,
right?
that's one of my issues with the industry, though, is that because it's a creative industry, they believe that they should be given carte blanche to make what they want. Their argument before something gets made is they should be given carte blanche to make something that they want because theoretically their great vision will, bring great money or bring big box office to the people who are providing the money to get the movie made, right? But the problem is when it fails, they don't ever want to take responsibility for the fact that their great vision was not what they expected it to be.
Well, I've got this kind of conspiracy of a causality here where it's like, what if, because we have this kind of joker in the deck, right? That is artificial intelligence, right? So when it comes to these layoffs, it's curious to know when it comes to something like this with them laying off that visual department, right? Is it because, hey, you guys weren't doing a good enough job, or hey, we just found a way to replace 1,000 of you with a computer program that costs 1/100th of what you guys cost on a monthly subscription, and in turn, do you allow your ratings to tank on purpose so that you have a reason to lay these people off to move to AI in the first place without it looking like, hey, you're just some tight asses that want to drop the buck?
I don't think they need a reason to.
I don't think they do either, but if you wanted to keep under the radar in the public eye, that's the way that I would think to go about it, no? Like disguise the fact that we want to move to AI. Let's make it look like we're doing bad by putting out a couple of horrible movies. And again, conspiracy theory. Mel Gibson me if you want to, but just my thoughts.
So Billie Eilish basically says that you can eat meat or you can love animals.
Cannot do both. Now, as an avid animal lover myself, I highly disagree. I love cows. I love chickens. I love turkeys.
So this is
I love all of them.
Hold on, here we go.
The people that are always like, I'm a vegan in everyone's face. It's like, you're the reason people don't like vegans. I'm vegan. I'm not like out here like, don't eat that because I don't eat it because I have my
nice
own reasons
callback
for not eating.
They would have
that
called
did not
her
age well.
They would have called her a
Hey.
I've learned when it says crisis party now. It's,
Is that like a
satisfying?
Is that like a vegan version of a pick-me?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe. She's very much like, ooh, with my baggy clothes, which we'll get into later, but ooh, getting my baggy clothes, I'm so not like other girls. Girl, shut up. But I will go back here to these notes. So people are saying now that it's actually very privileged of her to say this. So she's also gone on Chicken Shop date with Amelia DeMoldenberg. Right, I was like, DeMoldenberg, yeah. And they said that this has divided a lot of people, with even supporters of Billie saying it is a very privileged take. Love her, but she's kind of a hypocrite. Also, I feel like it's a very privileged take, LOL, one replied. Others are circulating the old interview where she called out vegans, saying that she's the reason that, or that's the, saying telling people they shouldn't eat meat is stupid, right? Then she's like, you can't do both. Girl, I love like cows. Oh my gosh, there's so many cows when we drive into work here, and I love seeing them every day. They are so cute. But look, I like a burger. I like a steak. I like, all the. I will not frequently, but I will.
Billy's like,
partake in bacon.
There's no pizzas grazing in the.
No pizzas are grazing, and then she says like no animal products at all. It's like, girl, just shut up. Like some of us actually can't have dairy for literal like allergen reasons. We have to be careful. If I could just eat a pepperoni pizza with like no concern for my body. I would F it up, I would F up a good pizza, but I have to be careful with my dairy intake. So and choosing to be vegan at 12, what 12-year-old is like, I'm going to go vegan?
I don't know.
No 12-year-old.
The average celebrity is done more damage by an interview these days than anything else, because there's a growing sentiment that the average celebrity just doesn't understand what it's like to be an average person anymore.
I get that, and
Which is why you need to go the Gwyneth Paltrow route and completely try and completely show everybody that you're not like normal people and just be like, I'm rich.
Not like other
I'm
rich
rich.
people.
I'm out of touch.
I'm rich,
I
bitch.
don't care.
I mean, I'd rather them be like that. Like, I'd rather them be honest about it. I have more respect for someone who said, I'm out of touch. And I'm a little bit privileged. I'd be like, yeah, okay, go you. Like, I mean, that rocks.
It's like, all right, here, Billy. Here we go. All right.
Listening, Billy?
My best friend ever was my dog for 16 years.
Oh.
I enjoy eating meat. The dog enjoyed eating animals too. Okay? Are you mad at him? Are you going to tell him he can't eat other animals because he enjoys eating other animals? Bullshit. I call BS. That is ridiculous. You can't just say that. That's not how that works. And also, if you have sharp teeth, you are a carnivore. If you choose to eat vegetables only and not meat, cool. Hey, do it. Whatever you want to do.
That's what
that's
you want
fine.
to do, but don't make it like a thing. Like, don't tell people what they can and
Bet
can't
your
do.
ass if you died in your apartment and no one found you for 3 days, but your dog is going to eat you.
So would your cat.
So
I thought the cats were the ones.
Cats
yeah,
will
they do that, but dogs do it
Cats
too.
will do it quicker than a dog.
Yeah.
Dogs will do it when
they
they're
will
hungry.
both do it.
Yes.
But that's the point. The animals will do it. What is your problem?
And humans are animals, right? So
Last time I checked.
yeah, last I checked,
Don't
we are
tell anyone
animals.
else that though, because they'll get pissed off.
Yeah, last I checked, that is, we are a type of animal, which is kind of weird to think about. But anyway, it's, for her to say you shouldn't be doing that, girl, first of all, as a huge animal lover, like, I love animals to the point where whenever we drive past any kind of roadkill, we just say that they're taking a really long nap because I just don't want to think about the fact. I walked past a possum today on my way to pick up my car that was sleeping very heavily on the side of the road, like right next to where I was walking.
You sure he wasn't dead?
He was sleeping.
Was not dead.
He was sleeping, Brando.
He wasn't in pieces?
No.
Because the only
wasn't
possums I
one.
saw today were split in half, and it was really, really graphic.
They were just taking time away from each other. That's
Look,
all
I
they were
really love animals so much that, like, even like thinking about a dead animal on the side of the road actually makes me kind of sad.
My mom apologizes to every roadkill she drives past. Basically, by
too.
whatever it's like. So like,
I'm so
she sees a
sorry.
dead raccoon, she'll be like, "Sorry, raccoon," and then
go,
she
"I'm
sees a
so
squirrel, she'll be like, "Sorry,
sorry."
squirrel." I'm like, "Mom, you can't save them all."
I know I can't, and I know that's like something that is, but still, I'm saying I love and care about animals so much that I do actually feel like, but I will still eat meat because I'm not insane. And also, like, so many people who have gone vegan. We had a guest that was going to be on IRL. It was Joshua Lysak, I believe. You guys should go check him out. We did the green room with him, and he said he was vegan for like 10 years. And it destroyed his body. He became anemic, which is very common in women because of their cycles, but in men it's not as common.
But Josh
It's
Lysak's a dude, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is for women it's actually common. So for a guy to be like, I was going anemic from this, it's because you're not getting enough iron in your diet. Whereas that's why women have to take iron supplements. Not every woman, but a lot of them that become anemic have to. I'm small enough, I don't even have that high of blood pressure, but so I have to take iron like probably every week, like at least 2 times a week. I have to take an iron supplement.
The average person does better to look at questions like this and give a reasonable middle of the road answer, which is the answer that most people have, right? Like, the average person is like, look, if you want to be vegan, that's fine, as long as you're not shaming other people for choosing to eat meat.
Or saying you can't
But
love animals.
Celebrities, they don't really benefit from that. Like, they don't benefit from being reasonable and down the middle of the road. If she gives a reasonable answer to this question, we never end up talking about it.
Yeah, that's
So they're
true. That's very
incentivized to
true.
say stupid shit.
And this was we added this last second too, which is funny because I was like, I love animals, so I can. Someone did say if Olivia could save every shelter animal, every shelter cat, she could. And I've always said that if we ever hit big on a lottery, we don't even gamble, but if we did, we wouldn't say anything, but there would be signs, i.e., like, I would actually make, like, we'd get a house big enough I could have a place that I could kind of rehabilitate and foster cats so that they could get good homes, because I would love doing that.
And it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that hypocrisy that people pointed out. If everybody remembers the "nobody's illegal on stolen land" comment that she made, well, her home is literally on such land.
And then she got that guy
but
sent back to Australia for wanting to confront her about
she had
her
another
land.
I mean, that guy was annoying and
It was
clout
funny.
chasing, but
It was funny.
the point is, in the interview she mentioned that she
Yes.
brought this up. She says, I was raised like this. When you have this insane platform that you can use to advocate for people, but you're not advocating for people because you don't want to be controversial, why is it controversial to step in when someone's getting bullied and try to stop it? Yeah, you're probably going to have to deal with some problems, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Girl, shut
up. Was that one of the responses to like the ICE situation?
Yes, that was them asking her about like if she's still held fast by what she said. And again, most people weren't doing that because like the people that were pushing back on her after the fact weren't doing so necessarily just because they disagreed with her about the actions of ICE officers. They were doing it because they believe she's unbelievably hypocritical to say that nobody is illegal on stolen land when you live on a private estate that was built on said land. So, you know, they felt that there was some hypocrisy there. Kind of the same way that people felt about the celebrities at Martha's Vineyard who had the, when they had the people bust in. That was Martha's Vineyard, right? Where they had the people bust in and then they were like, yeah, but not, you know, the definition of a NIMBY, the not in my backyard.
Yeah.
Like, it's hypocrisy.
They're all NIMBYs.
Aren't any of these guys aware that they're doubling back on statements they've publicly made before? Like,
I firmly believe that they know, they just don't care.
It has to be,
the
right?
The news is dominated by a forward-moving news cycle now, which means like so. If you were to look this stuff up, right, you'd have to go to like page 2 or 3 to find the stuff from the last interview because the search results turn over so quickly that people won't even remember it. Yes, some people might vaguely remember that she said something stupid a while back, but I only remember it because we cover this stuff every day.
Yeah.
Most people, they don't.
I did
they don't
forget
care
about it, so that's fair. I did
That's
forget
the point.
about that.
I don't think that they care.
Well, she went on to talk about another thing that has made headlines in the same Elle interview. She unpacked the reason why she wears baggy clothes. Now, mind you, this is the self-proclaimed vegan. As I say this, remember this. She said, quote, "I'm not the first person who's worn baggy clothes. I had a really, really toxic relationship with my body. I had a lot of eating issues. I remember putting on like a big shirt and the relief that I felt. At the same time, it was my love for hip-hop culture and wanting to be a man. This is the misogyny that we all have within us, which is that I didn't want to be seen as feminine and therefore weak. It's not right. I found a good way of not feeling like that." Girl, that's the dumbest quote. It's way dumber than the animal quote, in my opinion. Like, there's two parts to this. One, you just claimed that you love being a vegan and then said you had a very bad relationship with food. Which one is it? Pick one. And then she said, wanting to be a man, this is misogyny that we have with speak for yourself. I don't have that in me. Saying that you didn't want to be seen as feminine. I was a tomboy growing up. I wasn't the most feminine growing up. Not a big deal. And therefore weak. I've never thought as feminine as weak. There's a lot of strength, and I'm not a feminist, but there's a lot of strength in being feminine because you can literally carry a child. That is like the strongest thing someone could do, and it's inherently feminine. That is what women do, no matter what media tries to tell you. Women are the ones who get pregnant, can carry children to term, and deliver said children. Our bodies are made for that. So if you think being feminine isn't deeply rooted in being strong in your own way, not traditionally masculine ways, but in your own way, you're just stupid because you can be feminine and be strong. It's different strong than masculine. I will give it that.
I think you have internalized misogyny.
Apparently everybody does, according to Billie Eilish. Said it's not right. Like, girl, I didn't have any internalized misogyny within me. Like, speak for yourself. Don't speak for everybody else, because I think there's something really cool about being a woman and being feminine. There's also something really cool about also like dudes being masculine.
I too wear big clothes because I'm fat.
Anyway, and so then she was like, "Oh, hip hop culture," and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, you're not fit" on your podcast, because I would say that normally. I would tell him he's not, and then he'd go, "Yes, I am," and that would be the end of our conversation. But wanting to be a man was also kind of thrown in there, like just out of nowhere. She's like never said that. But I've never thought of Billie Eilish as like feminine or masculine. Like, I don't know. She wears oversized clothes. It just felt like her thing, like the kind of hip hop vibe.
I mean, it's indicative of the generation, right? Far more common in Gen Z than it is.
I never thought twice about it.
There's an ongoing discussion forever about baggy jeans versus skinny jeans.
You're anti-baggy jeans.
I am.
You're very anti.
I am.
You're staunchly against it.
Well, no, for women.
For women.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, our bodies are made to have certain parts of our body show, or I guess
I just
our
think,
bodies are different.
it's kind of right alongside the argument of the people. So I take the opposite position when it comes to the airport, where when we were talking about whether at the airport you should wear nice clothes or not, and I said anybody that treats you as awful as the airport treats you should not be able to ask me to dress a specific way. But in general, you should try to not go to the store in the Cookie Monster pajamas.
Okay, but we love you, Mark. We ran into Mark the other day at Weiss in his pajamas. This isn't to you, Mark. We love you.
Was he wearing Cookie Monster
not
pajamas?
Cookie Monster, but he had pajama pants on because he didn't think he was going to run into. He specifically said to Alexis before they left, like, "Oh, we're not going to run into anybody. We're just going really quick." And then we find them in like an aisle. We're like, "Oh, hey."
That's always the excuse that anybody who wears pajamas out of their house.
I mean, to be fair, it was
like, oh, we're not going to see anybody we know anyway.
It was like
who
9
cares?
p.m. or 8 or 9 p.m. It was pretty late. It was getting pretty late, and so to be fair, that was, made sense. We like that was the same day we ran into like multiple other people. We saw Richie like right before, and then I saw my old coworker like that right after leaving the store. It was really weird. We never run into people, and then we saw 3 in a row of people that we knew, and 2 of them were from this company.
That was like the
really
first
weird.
time I actually talked to Mary. I bumped into Mary at a grocery store.
Oh, that's so
and
weird.
I was like, what the hell? Like,
that's so weird.
Yeah, it was super strange.
All right, let's move on then. Let's do cringe or cute of the day. What would you like to see first?
Get the cringe over with. I want to preface this with someone paid for this video to be made. It's important that you know that.
Okay.
Let's go.
I hope this is one of those things where Instagram starts not letting it play like it was doing last week.
Oh,
Here
this
we
looks
go.
great. Please don't get any closer. No.
Hi, Seth. I heard you came out as trans-masculine. So I'm gonna tell you one thing only. You're such a good boy. I love you. Love you, my sweet little baby.
Was that supposed to be like an ASMR like situation?
I think it was supposed to be like one of those what are they called, cameo type videos where you pay for someone to say something. I love you, chat. I love you guys. They're like, what the heck? Oh dear, gross. Stop it.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. That gave like serious like Tim Curry vibes though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, is that okay?
The beginning
Not
was
just me.
paid for
Okay.
this. Seth's friend paid for that, by the way. It was Seth's friend paid for that video to be made, and then like the first comment was like, "Girl, no way someone paid you for this," or something like that.
Unknown in the chat says what happened to Mary. She saw that cringe and left. That's what happened.
She'll be here tomorrow, you guys.
She's
be
like,
on the show
nope, not doing it.
No.
All right, we're gonna do cute of the day. So as you guys know, I once again go to X and at Brett Dasovic and use the hashtag PCCPets. If you can, find this link here where I said I am once again asking for you to submit photos of your pets to be featured on there. And it's even got like it looks like Mocha's sibling of some sort being
yes, on the thing I saw that. I meant to send you the one that Stork in the Discord made of you saying I'm once again. Oh.
But this one is from Chris Carr.
Oh, hi baby, what a cute kitty.
That is a very cute cat
so
right there.
Fluffy.
It's a car kitty.
It is a car.
Did he
cat.
give a name or just the picture?
Just the picture.
Well, Chris, Alex, if you
fluff
guys are
poof.
seeing this,
We've also got this one from Josie, the redheaded libertarian.
another friend.
Yep, Figaro.
I love Figaro. She always posts her cat Figaro, and he is such a beautiful, gentlemanly fluff ball. Look at him with this tie.
It's a very
He's
cute
so
cat.
handsome.
It's a very cute
Tell him he's
cat right
handsome.
there. No.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
One of
That
my
was good.
roommates is a
You
cat.
missed the last photo of him.
Oh, did I miss? Was there one more there?
There
Hold
was-
on. There's
there
one
was
more.
one
Oh,
more.
yep. There.
Aha, yeah. I regret nothing.
Okay, that one looks like it looks
He's,
like it would rather be anywhere else.
Well, that's Chloe. That's, you know, I love the duality of cat. You know,
I love it when you can literally see Satan in the eyes of the cat, though. That's my favorite part.
Yeah,
They're looking at
you
you,
can
and
tell.
there's
And you're kinda
clearly
like,
a sea of
there's
demons on the other
something.
side. Like in Constantine, when like like the first time he actually like goes to hell, he puts his feet in water and stares into a cat's eyes until he wakes up in hell.
Yeah, it's
I
that.
feel
or you
like
see
that's
nothing.
real.
You
That's like a
either
real portal.
You either see that, or you just see like the one little brain cell in the hot air in their.
We
heads.
need a
That's it.
Constantine too, by the way. I'm putting that out there right now. You got
that was
Donald
supposed-
Trump is
that was
advocating
supposed
for
to happen.
bad boys.
That was supposed supposed to happen?
No, what did he want? He wanted a Rush Hour 4, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying let's get a Constantine 2.
They turned down, both Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker turned down the offers. They offered him $8 million. I mean, they made like $20 million for like the last Rush Hour movie.
Are you saying they got Nev Campbelled? Is that what just happened?
I mean, I guess it's...
Do we know what they were making for the first movies? Because
the last one they did together,
blockbusters.
the last one they made together, I think it was 20. So, and that was in like early 2000s money.
No.
So $8 million probably isn't going to move the needle for them.
I don't think so. No, especially if it's going to get released exclusively to like a streaming platform.
It would
and not even
the whole
hit
point
theaters.
would be that it would go.
I would
theaters.
hope so.
No, the whole point that the whole reason Paramount bought Warner Brothers is because they intend to release 30 movies a year in theaters.
That's one thing I like at least. Like all these other like rebuts and just the callbacks. Happy Gilmore going to Netflix. What else do we have?
I mean, that's because Adam Sandler.
Axel F, which was Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Yeah.
It was just like, I would have totally gone to see that in a theater, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't because it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be,
All right, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about bad advice from celebrities. Everybody knows that nobody actually likes to get told what to do or how to behave from a Hollywood actor or actress, because the ones that are at such a high level in the industry that they're giving these types of interviews, they tend to be giving you advice that doesn't really ring true with you because they don't live a life like you or I. That's just the fact of the matter. I saw this quote from Emily Blunt, because they're talking about Devil Wears Prada 2, of course, and I just thought that this was funny, and it reminded me that you should never listen to an actor when it comes for life advice. This is what she said. She was giving advice for girls who are unhappy with their jobs. She says, just find something you deeply want to do, even if you're earning no money. As long as you love it, you'll be happy. Let's actually listen to the clip of it so that people can know what she said. Tone matters.
Any tips for girls who are hating their jobs right now?
Wait, no. Look, I think just find something that you deeply want to do. Even if you're earning no money, as long as you love it, you'll be happy.
Thoughts?
Girl, shut up.
Okay, now
Okay, so
it's honestly sound advice when it comes to happiness, but she left out that you can only do that if you've already got money.
Well, that was the point I wanted to make, right? So this has come up before for us when Kim Kardashian says, work harder, okay? A celebrity can give you a good piece of advice. It doesn't necessarily matter because people will shoot the messenger because they don't actually want to take advice from somebody they perceive as disconnected from the average everyday person.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, like to Brando's point, like you have to have money to do this. It's great life advice if you've got money in the bank, you want to just do what you want, but happiness doesn't pay the bills. And as we know, there is an affordability crisis going on in this country right now.
I was told that by some lady during an FCC article.
Well, I was told that more than once, but
Yeah.
yes, it's one of those things where you're saying, oh, go and do something that makes you happy and go and do, like, do you know how many wannabe podcasters, streamers have to work day jobs because it doesn't pay their bills?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Unless you're secretly aspiring to be a homeless person one day, it's not the right move.
And also, like, I love that you want people to be happy, don't we all? But also, there are so many ways to be happy in a job that maybe you're not as passionate about as you want to be. There's other ways to make happiness in your life. It doesn't always have to be. Like, when I was working at the diner, I didn't want to be working at a diner, but I made the best with the job that I had, and I was actually quite happy outside of, the bad days, but every job has that. I was actually quite happy about, meeting customers or making friends with my coworkers, or we'd have good days where we had really cool customers come in or nice people come in. Like, it was the little things. You got to find joy in what you're doing, not try to make what you're doing your joy, if that makes sense.
And success, I feel like, can be categorized on a case-to-case basis.
If you can't love your job your love.
That's what basically I'm saying. Well, if you can't, I'm
What
saying
the
you can't.
hell?
I'll play you the clip later.
You
Okay.
can't. Yeah, you
I was
can't.
going to say, tell me you didn't come up with
I
that.
didn't come up with that.
No, that'd be very funny though. Yeah, you can't. If you can't find joy in your job, you will never be able to make your job whatever makes you happy. Like, it's not possible because you do have to work the grueling job. Like, we were talking about this in the Discord today. Everyone should have to work customer service in their life at least one time before they're allowed to go out into polite society. I firmly agree with that. You should have to work 2 years of customer service. If you're not going to enlist in the military, it's 2 years of customer service, preferably at a place with a lot of Karens. Like, I would say Joann's if they weren't closed. That one really toughened me up. That job did a lot for me. But a lot of people hate their jobs, but there's more to life than your job. You can find joy in those things. But it's easy for her to say when Devil Wears Prada is one of the, most iconic movies. Everyone, I've never seen it, but I've heard of it a million times. They're coming out with, obviously, Devil Wears Prada 2. And so she can say that knowing she loves what she's doing. And she loves, her and her husband both love what they're doing. They are both actors. And it's just, again, this comes from with Billie Eilish basically telling people like what they should, like, you can't do this if you're doing that. It's stupid. Learn to, do things. I've met plenty of people.
She was in Fall Guy. We loved Fall Guy.
That doesn't mean she's a good person.
Now, also, going back to your point about you think that this is, in some of these scenarios, that these guys are actually being paid to do this. She's nonchalantly flipping through a magazine and looks like she's not even interested in the interview to begin with.
I mean, that's a style.
Sure, but the way that she answered that question, it was kind of like you said, her tone, her demeanor was a very important part of that, because it looked to me like she was on autopilot, and that answer might have actually been authentic idiocy.
I look at the advice and I feel like it's the same problem people have on X, which is that the long answer that fully maps out your point doesn't actually get any clicks. The only thing that gets clicks is when you take the hottest take you have and then just say that and leave out all the context. Now, is she saying that you should go out and just do what makes you happy and then just, I'm homeless, what the hell happened? I don't think any rational person believes that that's what she means by that.
But that's what people will take from it.
But that's what people will take
and that's
from
what's important, right?
But
that's
it is also borderline basically what she was saying. I mean, when you get right down to it, she was saying, oh, just do whatever the hell makes you happy and you'll be fine. She also might mean,
when she says even if you make no money, could be taken to mean like even if all you do is make enough money to pay your bills,
but that's
because not everybody speaks in such a...
but what she should have said, being on an interview, being in the public eye, is even if you only make the bare minimum, you should, which is still stupid advice, you should have savings, you should work. And I just get so mad. Like, I think about all the jobs I had that I didn't like, and everything that led to me being here. And I had to work a lot of jobs just to get by, doing things I hated. And I was in college. I wasn't going to find a job that could accommodate everything I wanted, but working at Joann's was the next best thing, or working security. It was on campus. It was convenient. I actually ended up kind of liking I liked my coworkers, maybe not the job. I'm going to read this one really quick. We have one from 1776X Josie, a super chat that said, "Tell Figaro he is handsome, Brett."
I don't do things when people order me to do them.
He's handsome. You have Josie, the redheaded libertarian herself, telling you Figaro is handsome. How dare you?
Perhaps later in the episode, if I feel like doing it. I'm not saying that it's not...
So you're saying he's ugly?
I'm not saying Figaro is not a handsome cat. I'm saying that I don't take orders.
So then why aren't you saying that he is?
Anyways, we're going to move on,
I get
ladies
stage
and gentlemen.
fright.
The thing is, now I lost my train of thought.
Good.
Damn it.
Good, because you should have told Figaro he's handsome, and you didn't.
That's two now. That happened to me.
Look, it's one of those things where... Again, I didn't love my job at Joann's. I see the chat asking what I did.
I remember what I was going to say now.
Go ahead.
So it does feel like more of a female concept to think about the idea of being happy at work. Whereas I feel like there was a clip going around the other week talking about, it might have been Clavicular or something, and they were talking about men, they shouldn't really strive to be happy. They should strive to feel fulfilled, meaning that you're completing your obligations, you're taking care of the people in your life, you're doing and fulfilling all of your responsibilities. And yes, you will have hobbies and things that you love to do, but you shouldn't necessarily always assume that you're going to find happiness with work.
No, and growing up, it was if you're not miserable and busting your ass and tolerating it no matter what your problems are, you're not a man.
Yeah, I think giving that advice is just, again, it's very out of touch, it's very disingenuous, and it really annoys me when they give this kind of advice. Like, again, everyone here has worked jobs that they don't like, and why are you going to go out there and try to tell people that they don't, they can just not make money, it's fine, just Why do you don't need money? You don't need a girl.
Josie, I responded on X and I typed it. That way I didn't have to say it out loud.
I need you to say it.
I caved, only not verbally.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That's so rude.
Sticking it to the man.
Is so
take that.
rude.
Take that, Josie.
What is that face? What is that face that she's making there? Look, I think for the average person, you should strive to have hobbies that bring you a lot of joy in having. Like for me, right? Like I like my job,
hobby,
but I love skating.
Hobby,
skating.
Keyword.
Yeah,
hobby that you enjoy.
Yes.
Hobby.
Not everyone will have the luxury of loving their job, and that's okay.
No, and there's people that are
fine.
stuck in a job that they hate that are miserable. I see there's a guy in chat earlier that said, I hate my job. I almost quit earlier. I almost rage quit earlier. Dude, I feel you. I did that every day for like 20 years with jobs I absolutely hated. I did the call center shit. I did customer service. I sold shoes at Journeys for a while. It was just terrible.
The other thing that people are drawing this back to is the same thing that it always comes back to, which is wealth gap. People are saying that this is because she's out of touch because she's wealthy. This person says, it's so easy for wealthy people to say this. This person says, I know some people are going to paint this as she's privileged and not everyone has the ability to do this, which is true, but my job was making me so miserable and unwell, hair falling out in chunks, skin breaking out. I cracked a tooth from clenching my jaw. I quit. I mean, yeah, but I'm assuming you got another job after that, right?
I hope
Also, the job market sucks.
This one
right
says, me paying my rent with the love of my job.
Yeah, literally. It's kind of like when influencers are like, hey, you know, can you give me this thing? I'll pay you an exposure. And it's someone with like 10,000 followers. And it's like, yeah, because those businesses can pay their bills and all that for based off exposure. Exposure definitely pays the bills.
Someone says, tried paying my rent with happiness and my landlord wasn't having it. The Critical Drinker says, excellent advice. The only flaw is that happiness doesn't buy food or clothes or pay rent.
I mean, look, my dad has definitely had, I don't even want to say more days he's not liked his job, but it put my brother and I through college, and a lot of that was his investment, but that investment came from money he made on his job. And now he's retiring here very soon, which I'm very excited. I'm very proud of him. But it's just that there were so many days that he was probably miserable at his job, but that job paid for him to raise his children and send them to college. And it gave us a beautiful wedding because he, you know, has invested well and saved well. So yeah, you might not love your job, but there are ways to utilize what, you know, your job gives you. I just don't listen to people like that are so out of touch that they say stuff like, you should just be happy even if you don't make money. Don't do that. Really bad idea. You can have a passion you work on the side. That's why so many podcasters do it. That's why I crochet on the side and sew on the side. But it's not our primary income because that doesn't pay the bills and that doesn't afford children one day.
Yep. And not to mention that I've always found that for me, I like to separate. Now, this might be weird to some people because I think a lot of people would consider the dream to be able to do what they love for a living, right?
You should try.
But for me, skating wise, I was infinitely happier once I quit skating for sponsors because I no longer had to treat skating like work.
Obligations go away.
So I loved skating for almost 30 years, but once it was a point where I had to finish video parts by a specific date, I had to do reviews and stuff by a specific time. I had responsibilities that eventually just felt onerous and kind of took the joy out of it for me.
It happened in music too.
So it was I felt like I had regained my passion for the sport once I could do it again for nobody else
on your
but
terms,
for myself,
yeah.
Because I was going out to do it for myself rather than to go out to do it. Not to say that I wasn't blessed to be able to do that.
Sure.
That was great, but there's just some perspective to be seen.
Absolutely.
Well, and Pop Culture Junkie is about to give us some perspective as well with a 20 here again. My guy, thank you. He said, in my 39 years in media in 8 different cities, really, I only had maybe 3 really tough months. Many multi-year runs working with great people, grateful as heck. We love that for you.
Yep.
Look, I'm so grateful. I know a lot of people have speculation as to how I'm at this job, but I put 3 years into that Discord server. Let me tell you what, I put 3 years of a lot of time in that Discord server.
Whenever you explain your job to me, I realize I could never do it.
It's basically customer service on steroids while also managing a community and hoping that Discord doesn't nuke our server. It's a very fine line, but
I'm out here trying to like sidestep the community.
Well, it's like one of those.
Well, like that's how I felt when I heard about what you do. Like the whole entire progression of you running this monster down here, like in comparison to when I was running Inverted World, I was just like, wait a minute, Brett does what? And
people don't realize
like
some of our jobs here.
This dude is one of the hardest working dudes here next to Tim. It's insane the amount that this guy does. He busts his ass.
And he would never like make a comment about that.
And I was always like, I'll never be on that level. I'm maybe almost half to where you are now, the way that they've got me running everything else. And I can do this, and I have done this before with IWL, only minutely, but not to the level that you're doing it with everything else in the back end. It's not just the show that you're running, it's everything outside of it that's really like where the workload is.
But
I feel like the show,
I wonder how many people who do the do this type of work, I guess, actually find it like deeply I believe they find it fulfilling, right? So the logic that I've always made is that the people in this space that are the most successful have a lot to say, and they feel like they need to, right? Like
But you're also doing multiple things.
But like, how many of them are deeply fulfilled by what they're doing?
Right.
So I was reading this thing the other day about how like, I don't watch him, but Sean Ryan, they were talking about like his interviews. Somebody can tell me if they listen to him, if this is true. They said like his interviews have gone down in quality because since he got really popular, he's like taking on more interviews, so he doesn't have the time to research his guests the way that he used to. Now, I don't know whether this is true or not. It was just an interesting observation that I saw. And I was thinking, like, do you think that he's happier now that that the numbers are up and he's doing more work and he's got more stuff coming out and he's being more recognized? Or do you think he was probably happier when it was on a smaller scale and he was able to really hone in and focus on it in that way? Like, maybe it's just me because skating will always be the thing that I'm the most passionate about, but I don't get that type of fulfillment from this.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it.
I mean,
but I feel that.
We're also lucky enough to be working in a space that we at the very least enjoy, right? Like getting a job at this kind of company, not just this company, but this kind of company, it's hard to do, and it's very much like we are not the rule here. We are the exception, and we recognize that, right? Like being able to come in every day and make your own podcast and talk about kind of whatever the heck you want, and knowing your boss will have your back 9 times out of 10 is a good thing. And it's rare, but we're all very grateful for even the opportunities given through working at a company like this.
I've also found that the people who are the best ended up starting these types of shows on their own, and then they build it on. It's like Tim has always said, like it's very hard to hire for this type of work because the people that are good enough to do it usually can just do it on their own, and I think that that's largely true. For the most part, like that's why the people that I listen to, like the podcast that I'll give you an example. James Romero is a wrestling podcaster who he co-hosts with Stevie Richards and Dutch Mantel, but from everything that I've learned, he doesn't just do YouTube. He has like a whole other job, and he is really, really good at what he does, and some people are just born with that. You know, it's a lot of hard work on top of natural talent, and it's kind of when it all comes together for them. But the point is, I guess, to reel it back in, because we kind of went off on a tangent here, is like, I don't think that you necessarily need to love your job. I think you have to have something in your life that you love enough that you would maybe one day want it to be a job, but even if you didn't pursue it in that sense.
Don't go all in right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We've got more stuff to get into. Now, what would you call this? Some type of, what's the phrase?
TikTok challenge?
No, it's a cautionary tale. Let's stop people from doing this.
A cautionary tale. There is a new trend that's not even new. It's a resurfacing trend on TikTok called the Benadryl Challenge. It first appeared on TikTok about 6 years ago, and it's resurfacing again. So far, it's led to 1 death, and dozens have been sent to the hospital. So you might be asking, what is that? What do you mean? What's a Benadryl Challenge? I'm here, unfortunately, to inform you. So doctors are sending warnings to parents after the challenge has now provoked many children, so we're talking preteens, teenagers, to take a bunch of Benadryl and then fight the drowsy side effects that come with it, which will produce some kind of high. The Benadryl contains an active ingredient called diphenhydramine.
I
knew I was going to mess it up. I
that's
put it out phonetically, and I was like, because I said
Brett totally practiced that before.
I said
the show.
I did like 5 times. Yes. Diphenhydramine. It's hard to get it when you're saying it in a sentence.
Yes. If I was doing the full sentence, I'd
yeah, you can't do it, right? It's an antihistamine, so when it's used in the right way, it'll basically fight off seasonal allergies, cold, so runny nose, sneezing, etc. Consuming too much Benadryl does have medical side effects, though, such as a high heart rate, urinary retention, which can lead to kidney dysfunction or failure, arrhythmias, or an irregular heartbeat. One case saw a 14-year-old female who had a seizure after participating in this challenge. Dr. Stephanie Felton, who is an associate medical director for Cook Children's Emergency Department in Texas, told the Fort Worth Star-Telegram that the hospital saw one recent death in connection with the challenge. The emergency department has treated more than 100 patients in the last 6 months for a Benadryl overdose.
Let's listen to the video this lady
Sure.
made, kind of talking about it here. So here we go.
Teen or teenager, you need to listen to this. Hopefully this video will reach the right audience. Last Monday, a dear friend of mine's daughter, who's only 12 years old, decided to compete in a TikTok Benadryl challenge. If you've never heard of it, you can do your research, you can look it up yourself. What it is these children are taking as much Benadryl until they can experience hallucinations. So they take little by little until they feel the effects. This led to her daughter taking over 130 pills. During the time that she was at her grandmother's house, her mother was at work, she started to experience hallucinations. Luckily, she has phenomenal parents, and her grandmother caught on very quickly. They rushed her to the emergency room. My friend left work, of course, to be there with her daughter.
You get the point, right?
I mean, yeah, this woman, I love her eye makeup, by the way. I just had to put that out there.
This wasn't the kid that died.
No, this was just, they said luckily enough, so I'm assuming that means that the kid's alive. Okay. But she talked very slow, but yes.
Her accent was killing me too.
Yeah, she went to the hospital.
Daughter.
Yeah, again, cautionary tales is affecting people that know, like, right, this is somebody who's on TikTok who knows someone whose daughter, 12 years old. 12. That is insane. Like, and then she said 130, literally, like, jaw dropped, because I was like, seriously, that's insane. Look, these challenges get more and more dangerous. So as I was saying, this pediatric doctor has basically said that this is a huge problem. She said they aren't seeing as many overdoses as they did in 2020, where the trend first emerged, but the resurgence is very concerning. In 2020, the trend was actually so big that the FDA issued a warning about the dangers of taking high-dose allergy medicine, which is over-the-counter, right?
This
so you
was
have better
that
access.
Used to happen with Robitussin.
Yeah, I was gonna say back in the day, it used to just be take a bunch of triple C's and sniff a king-size Sharpie.
Yeah.
So yeah, the FDA is putting out new warnings saying it can lead to heart problems, seizures, comas, or even death. The FDA is advising parents to now keep these medications out of reach because they could be misused, and they've also warned healthcare workers to be aware of the trend, so when they have patients coming in, they can. Felton has encouraged parents to have direct and honest conversations with their children about these challenges so that they're not influenced to do it. They know the dangers of it. Not that that's going to work necessarily. Kids are going to be kids. But yeah, keeping it... It's just sad that something as simple as allergy pills is now being used as like a gateway to getting high. And now children have died from it, which is heartbreaking and entirely avoidable. But when I was 12 and I'd get seasonal allergies, I could just go grab a Benadryl or whatever I needed and take an allergy pill. Like, my parents never had to worry about me downing the entire bottle of Benadryl.
No, and... Key note here, if you take a Benadryl and don't do anything, it'll make you drowsy.
Yes, you just won. You'll
if you're active and you're doing things, it won't make you drowsy. This is a common thing with Benadryl. So
yes.
If you're running around popping Benadryl, you're never going to feel that real effect until you're hopped up on so many of them it doesn't matter anymore.
That is so sad. I'm assuming these kids have to get their stomachs pumped to get the Benadryl out of their system. And I mean, it's horrifying. As someone who's not yet a parent but wants to be, I can't imagine how much worse it's going to be in however many years when our kids reach about that
I
age.
guess they've upgraded from Tide Pods, so, at least they're actually taking pills now
That
as
are meant
opposed
to be
to
for
just
human
eating
consumption?
laundry soap. And
They should be doing none of that, and it is one of the terrifying side effects of like society as it continues to. Now, I was gonna say advance. We're not advancing. It feels like we're devolving in a lot of ways. My conspiracy theory would be that the worst aspects of your government are putting these types of challenges out there
Well, so
as
are
some type
people
of
that just
social
want to mess with
experiment.
stupid people,
Yeah.
Like there's people that get off on trolling people
Where
and
people
watching
are
this
just
kind of thing happen.
idiots. Like Clavicular, going out and doing stupid stuff. That's influencing way more people than we probably give it credit for. He's just being stupid because he's stupid. Like, that's not anything, I don't even think he's meaning to. I mean, he just likes that he makes a lot of money from it, so he keeps doing it. And it influences kids to do really stupid things. So please talk to your kids. If you got kids around that age, they're on TikTok. Number one, probably shouldn't be, but that's
What was some of the other version of this? I remember Tide Pods. I thought that one ended up being
Cinnamon
one of those
challenge
stories
back in the day when people would try to swallow cinnamon and it would get in their throat and it would make them choke
because they couldn't.
Because it was so dry, they couldn't.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't absorb water as much.
It's like eating a Popeye's biscuit with no water.
Yeah, basically, a really crumbly biscuit with no water. Trying to think about some of the other ones I've seen over the years there was that challenge where people would lick random public places and it made a lot of kids extremely sick because they would lick something that had bacteria on it. It was called devious licks. And they would go and lick a urinal.
Can you
and
imagine?
Get so sick.
Can you imagine doctors in the ER?
Imagine studying that long just to have a kid come in over taking Benadryl.
Where you kind of are humanity's last line of defense against our own stupidity. And it's not like it's just kids. Plenty of adults are stupid too.
Yeah. Or they try to black themselves out by holding their breath to see what it was like.
This country just keeps getting more and more polarized as we go on for obvious reasons, and when you look at it, back in the day, we had things like the ALS challenge, which was where you dumped a bucket of ice water on your head for...
I mean, that was just an exercise in narcissism.
Yeah, and that, but what do you think this is? This is just an advanced exercise in narcissism.
Wait, can somebody actually tell me...
Narcissism.
Was there a method, a means to which the ice bucket challenge actually did something for ALS?
I think there were people who were raising money to a certain degree.
How does dumping water on your head?
I think because it was a trend, people
give me money and I'll dump a bucket of ice water on my head.
I thought it was either pay or dump water on your head, but I think a lot of celebrities. No, I will say.
That's what it was for celebrities. Yes,
it was pay or do it.
And then you name the next person. Oh, I'm going to nominate this person, and then a lot of people were doing both, which was cool.
I didn't know what it was, and I mean, I was pretty young at the time, not young, but I was probably a teenager at the time, and I learned what ALS was from that challenge. I didn't know what it was. Yeah. So I guess it did in some way spread awareness to younger generations in a way that wasn't as morbid as someone dying from ALS, because it is a horrific disease. I'm trying to see if I can find any other.
I'm just trying to give note to the transgression here. We've gone from where that was a challenge on the internet that was going viral to, hey, now you have to eat laundry detergent, and oh my god, I can't wait to go home and do this in front of all my friends.
So dumb. Now, to be fair, they do look like the forbidden candy, but don't eat it. It doesn't smell appetizing. It looks like the little Joes look like you could just a pop candy, and they had those pop candies go viral, which is probably why. But I'm trying to see. I mean, look, I think the dance trends did a lot worse for, the youth. Mm-hmm. That's another exercise in narcissism. Dancing on camera and uploading it so people will like it because they like watching you. That's why we're sitting here on a podcast complaining about narcissism. But still,
that whole thing pissed me off too. But
I don't really care if you make dance videos as long as you're not a nurse and there's a guy with a stab wound waiting to be helped, and instead you're making a choreographed dance video.
Forgot there was one that was kind of niche, but it's called the Skull Breaker Challenge, where you would try to hurt your head, and a kid died from it. But yeah, there are some really bad ones out there, and I'm not on TikTok, so I can't really say exactly what.
I mean, it shows you how suggestible people are.
I do have Benadryl on me right now.
It shows you how suggestible people are to
I carry medicine on me.
Was Olivia just you guys want to get fucked up?
I did. I said, hey, everybody, you want to get fucked up?
What was that?
That was sorry. I just remembered.
Sorry, Brett. Finish your thought, man. If I didn't just completely
I'm so sorry. I just remembered that. I basically everyone calls me the friend that's overly prepared. I'm the mom friend, so I literally have a mini pharmacy.
It just
in my
caught
bag.
me off guard. You just slid in from the side. You're I got Benadryl on me actually, and it was just wait a minute, Are you calling for us to just completely drill out right now? Like, let's go.
I have Benadryl. I have like basically a pharmacy on me. Brett can attest to this, as well as like
Crisis
anything that
party
women
drill
might
out.
need and anything. Like I have Band-Aids. I've got all of it. So I should get a tourniquet too. I should have that on me at all times.
There you go.
Just in case. Sorry.
All right.
Was just...
Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, talk to your kids. Don't let them fall into stupid challenges like this. It's very, very dumb. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the future for Gen Z women. Obviously, we talk a lot about different generations here. We talk about the millennials. We talk about Gen Z. We don't talk a whole ton about Gen X, but that feels like they don't really write a whole lot of articles or do a whole lot of studies about what's going on with Gen X. But let's talk about Gen Z women. It says 25% of Gen Z women think that they must choose between love and a career, and that it is the greatest challenge that a woman can face. This is the article. It says, as Gen Z women enter adulthood and start their careers, I mean, aren't the oldest Gen Z women in their like mid-30s now?
No, they're like 30 at most,
Okay.
I think.
It says as they start their careers, many are considering what their future lives could look like. Nearly 47% of Gen Z women say that they want to be happily married with kids and a stable job, according to a recent survey of over 2,000 respondents. Another 23% says they'd rather be highly successful, independent, and famous, even if it means staying single. I actually find that number to be encouraging. That's not it's high, but it's not an extremely high number. 23% seems pretty acceptable in that range there.
It's not 143 Benadryl high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not.
It says, in fact, when it comes to the age-old challenge of work-life balance, many question what's really possible. 25% of Gen Z women believe that you must choose between a career in love and you cannot have both. I do agree with the sentiment that you can't have it all. I don't know if I agree with the idea.
What is it
that
all? What does that even mean?
I mean, the general idea of what having it all meant back in the day for women meant the career, the husband, the kids, the white picket fence.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
it's hard to do, but it's not
Are we
impossible.
sliding kind of back into Emily Blunt territory here
Yes.
with this? Because this is kind of another thing of like, pick something as long as you love it, you're fine. Like, having it all really is in the eye of the person who wants, like, what is having it all to you? To some, if it's having a career and being married at the same time, maybe you are a person who has everything, and maybe you'll work harder than your average person to get what you want in that regard, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go on and they do even talk about the gender wage gap.
I know, that part made me roll my
It
eyes.
says this is from Wendy Walsh. She's talking about it. She says that's especially true as inequality persists and women still make about 81% to the man's dollar. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, many women might feel that the only way to get ahead is to focus solely on their careers. Oddly enough, she's not entirely wrong about that, since the vast majority of that 20-some cents, it comes from the fact that women choose to work less hours.
Or jobs that don't pay as
jobs that
well.
don't pay as
Yeah.
well, but work less hours and maternity, have to take time off for having kids and stuff. And that's what I mean by the idea is that in general, you can't have it all. I don't believe that you can. I believe that striving to have everything, especially if you're somebody who's prone to the idea of comparison, is oftentimes a fool's errand, and you have to find the things that you value the most and go for those specifically.
I mean, I think, as someone who's a Gen Z woman, I think it is, I wouldn't say maybe the white picket fence, the perfect house, but you can have it all in the sense that, yeah, you can still, make money and provide for your family and be a parent and at least have a roof over your head. I don't think it needs to be the full, like that whole American dream the whole time. There's other variations of that. So you might not have a house in the suburbs because it's too darn expensive, but you might have a house that maybe isn't the white picket fence, maybe not what you imagined you were going to get, but you have a husband and you have children who you love very much, and now that they're old enough, you're working. And finding those jobs that make it able to do so is actually more rewarding. So finding a job where what their maternity leave thing is, and go into that as a career, knowing that the maternity leave is actually provided, and they encourage you to stay home. They're willing to make exceptions for working mothers and say, if you have to do this day at home or whatever. It's one of those things. I think the idea of having it all is it's a utopian thing. Mm-hmm. No one is ever going to have it all. But I also hate the idea, it's like women don't make as much money. Women tend to work, like you said, lower paying jobs. That's women tend to get their careers if they have kids early. They get a career started later, or they will start a career, stop a career, have kids, try to start a career again. I don't get like why so many people think it's inherently because women are women. It's not. It's the decisions women choose to make.
The people, especially somebody who's doing research in it, knows full well that that's true. They just tend to be
they're cherry picking.
So she goes on and says, I suspect that Gen Z women more often subscribe to the adage that a woman can have it all, just not all at the same time. She said, adding that it's possible some simply feel that they must develop their work skills and save up some money before they consider other aspects of their lives. I feel like the pitfall there for a lot of us is like whenever you ask somebody who has had kids and has a job and a family, is they say you're never going to be the right
ready.
amount of ready. Eventually you just have to go for it.
I mean, sure, but I do think too having two working parents is good as far as income because again, the economy's not great right now. You have to have a 2-income household. That's just kind of the norm. It's a privilege to have a single income household. That's actually, nowadays not the norm. So I really hate when they make it's like a feminism. You can have love and a career at the same time, and I'm literally sitting right here. Like,
for those of you, for those who do want to try to balance romantic relationships and their careers, it is possible, she said, especially with the right partner. Healthy relationships are about interdependence, she said. Look for a mate who supports your ambition as you do his. I mean, she at least used gendered language for that one.
Yeah, Brandon and partner.
Yeah.
Partner. Look, yeah, you can have, yes, you can have it, but a big part of it, yes, is, but I would say that that's important for, even without like work-life balance, having someone that kind of aligns with your goals is very important if you plan to get married. Like that's already inherently very important.
Yeah,
so
it's work for both of you guys, right? Like you guys are working to build a life together. So that's, if you're doing it right and you're working hard enough and you both want it and you're supporting each other, then that's where you'll get and that's where you'll have it all, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Psychologist Sabrina Romanoff suggests looking out for specific green flags like consistent behavior, taking accountability for their shortcomings, and making you feel calm and safe as well.
But they're first of all, that's like bare minimum, like not even to work and have a relationship. Like if your boyfriend, husband, whatever, doesn't make you feel safe and doesn't, make you feel good, probably not a great relationship. Like that's bare minimum.
I would like to know whether she believes that the women themselves should also take responsibility.
They should.
For their
like if you're gonna have,
but that's just my critique of feminist doctors.
No, they're gonna say they should admit they have shortcomings, and then when you don't make as much money because you decided to have kids, it's somehow the fault of some kind of misogynistic society. When that's not the case, it's just because you tend to work. Like again, a lot of women are teachers, and we know teachers don't get paid that well in the public school system. So that's already one thing. Like they don't get paid. I'm saying like for a very woman heavy job, it's not a job that pays a lot. Same thing with like a receptionist. They're not going to get paid as much as the salesman because the salesman is on commission. So that's already a lower paying job because you're not getting commission. There's plenty of jobs you don't get paid well enough for, and they typically are.
Guys in the chat, let me know, are teachers paid well? I'd be interested to know.
No.
Hopeless. Dance.
We got a little bit of a dance from Brando there at the end.
Appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen.
I haven't slept in a long time,
That's
so
okay.
I'm starting to feel.
Is it from the gaming for 10 hours?
Starting to feel a little woozy. Yeah, I was on Rust for like 10 hours last night, and
Sounds
then
like
we had me and Tate got up early today to go try to see if we could locate the King of England.
Did you find him?
We got pretty close, but no cigar.
Okay.
We didn't see Mr. Charles, Mr. King Charles,
Mr. Chucky.
his heavenly sovereignty or whatever they call him over there now. It is kind of curious though. You wonder, he's visiting on what was the 250th celebration of America's independence, and we bring him over here to check it out.
Yeah.
We're just bragging.
Even though it was us leaving.
I think we're bragging. I think it's just kind of like, haha.
And we're in a time of no kings, but we have a king here, and everyone's super stoked. And I'm like,
yeah,
what's going on?
Make sense.
What's going on? Whatever.
I mean,
I digress.
I'm with the chat. Teachers are paid way too much for the results that they provide.
Now?
Well, yeah, but I would also say a big part of that. Look, yeah, some of it, people will say, oh, teachers suck, blah, blah, blah. You realize that teachers are also told they have to hit certain standards. So, like, they have to hit, let's say they have 10 days to hit 35 different topics because that's what it's mandated. I mean, that's like a very niche example, but it's pretty much that. But overarching, they make you cover, and I know that because I at one point was studying to be a teacher. I've seen these standards.
It's what they do here. Tim's like, you have to cover Sabrina Carpenter at least 10 times.
10 times a week. Yeah. So it's and Taylor Swift. Yeah.
And Taylor Swift.
It's definitely one of those things where yes, I also think that COVID made a lot of people lazier, and so because they could just throw everything online, which I don't want them to do that. I do think there needs to be better standards for like the outcome of students. Like there's not really a good standard for like they'll be like, oh, we're doing the standardized test, but there's no actual standard being upheld. It's just like what are the grades, and then they move on, which is insane. They should have better benchmarks. But that's I'm not going to say it's not the teacher's fault, but it's not all on the teachers. It's not all on the schools. It's not all on the parents. It's kind of an all-encompassing problem now.
Back in my day when teachers were decent,
Back in
they
my
were
day.
still making $43,000 a year. You know, I mean, granted, you get like 2 months off, which is pretty sweet. You get like a summer vacation, whatever, holidays off and everything.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, they spend that whole holiday working anyway.
I have a friend that teaches high school English, and it's a lot of work.
It is, and
it's
and for the good teachers, it's not enough pay, is what I should be saying. For the good teachers who put their heart and soul into it, I literally saw it today. This is weird, but he's like a family friend. My science teacher from I believe 7th or 8th grade, 8th grade, I think. I'm friends with him on Facebook because we all know each other. And today he said they were all going into DC, like driving from Michigan to DC for like the annual trip that they do with the 8th graders every year. Teachers like that deserve to get paid a heck of a lot more. They put in, like, he was a great teacher and he's been a teacher for a long time, and I'm sure he doesn't make nearly enough for the job he does.
They never do.
They finish up in the article, they say, I think the healthiest attitude is to think about a male partner as not simply a provider, but as a partner. A best friend, someone who can help out. I think Gen Z women are starting to erase old-fashioned gender. Those old-fashioned gender roles have been gone for so long, it's not even funny. I don't even know what she's talking about here. I have not seen that push for traditional gender roles outside of the overblown, caricaturish idea of trad wife.
Yeah.
Other than that trend online, which really isn't anything about trad, it's just wanting to bake, I guess, sourdough bread and film yourself, really just means being an influencer with extra steps. I don't know the last time my generation didn't really believe, was already past the idea of traditional gender roles, and I'm about to be 40 this year. It's not like they were raising the women in my generation to be trad wives, as the term is used.
When my mom raised me, it was one thing that I remember her telling me, which was basically like, you're a guy, so your life is gonna suck.
What?
She told me that early. She's like, there's going to be a lot expected of you. There's going to be a lot you're going to have to stand up for. And there's not going to be a lot of sympathy on the other side of that because you're a man. That's the way that it works. And
Honestly,
you're going to need to learn how to fend for yourself.
And to be okay with that.
And to find a way to walk and be a man no matter what comes your way, no matter what happens. And support yourself over everything no matter what. And if you happen to find a partner and make me some grandkids, hey, cool. Look, I used that word again. Then, sweet. But if you don't, then you don't. Just make sure that you're doing right by yourself.
I agree.
That's the hardest thing to do as a man in this country.
I will say, last thing I will say, because I just thought about that too on the teacher topic, is that schools also don't provide, despite the fact they get way too much money somehow, it doesn't go to actual resources in the classroom. I don't know what the hell it goes to.
It's like anything to do with the government. When
I know,
the
I'm
money
just saying
is
that,
sent
like,
there, it never makes it to its intended
the teachers
purpose.
that care will buy stuff out of their own pocket to help their students achieve what they need to. But the school district won't
do that. Which is
do
insane, considering that they're not being paid enough. So the fact that on top of that, they're putting their money back into it. That's how you know that
exactly
you love
what
something.
they mean. I bought this fan for myself.
Yeah.
I didn't ask the company to buy it for me because I needed a fan.
But I do think that, like, there are a lot of
see it.
teachers that
Should
love
slide
their
out.
job and they will do everything they can to pay to get their kids into the right, whatever it might be, whether it's supplies
I will
or
pay
materials.
anything I can to keep myself
Slide
cool
that
in the studio.
reimbursement receipt in,
Yeah.
on the Mark's desk and just say, hey, man, I'm just going to leave this here.
Yeah, maybe if you fix the, The
Maybe
house.
this podcast would be better if I was better cooled down during the show.
It's all right.
Though,
I'm
to be
not
fair,
getting my
IRL
half tank of gas back from this morning.
IRL is
So
way worse. Like it's so
And it's
warm
also
in
bright.
IRL
It's like-
in that room.
here, dude, the extra systems installed in that room. The problem is they're just not always running.
Well, they're like right behind the guest, so it'd be loud in their microphone
Right.
probably too. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it's not that bad, but like in IWL, we would have to run that thing because we would get cooked upstairs.
Yeah.
It was so hot up there, and if anybody else had the heat on in any room, the heat is automatically locked to all the other units, so you can't turn it off. Like you can shut the unit off, but you can't, like, it's stuck. So we would be up there cooking half the time. I'd either have to crack a window or find a way into Brian's office to shut his air conditioning unit off so that we weren't roasting during IWL, which always happened. It sucked.
It gets worse in here in the summer too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
At least we have AC in the skate park now. That
that's
still
nice.
has to work its ass off to get anywhere, but it's better than, like, skating last year was so stagnant in the summer that we had to have AC put into the warehouse.
Yeah.
So bad. So much better now, though.
All right, let's go to super chats here, ladies and gentlemen. We got 2 crisis parties today. Thank you guys so much for that. That's fantastic. This one from Shane H. Wilder says, "Happy Thrashing Thursday, Dasovix and Brandon. Anybody else have to deal with a..." Making sure I read that right.
Yeah.
"Bum throwing bricks at moving cars in the middle of a thunderstorm." Sorry, I only see bums throwing bricks when it's clear out. Not
Yeah,
during
I
the
don't know. Not
thunderstorm.
during thunderstorms.
Did anybody else visualize that?
Yeah,
while
I
he
did a
was,
little
yeah,
bit.
I totally
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
picture in my head.
I have not
No,
experienced
can't say I
that.
have.
Sean says, "I'm going to type. I am going to try to type out turtles the way Brett says it. Toidles. Yes,
Close. It's pretty close.
I like toidles.
I like Twiddles.
Shane H. Wilder says, "I'll do the bags over the pods. I will not live in the pod. I will not eat the bugs, and I won't force my mama to do either, especially on Mother's Day."
Well, fine. That still
What if she
means you
wants
can
the-
get a bundle.
What if
you
she
can
wants
get
the pods?
bean or a ground. You can still get the bag, Shane. Sorry, it was
What
aggressive.
if she wants the pods?
What if she does? Yeah, listen to her. Listen to your
should
mother.
ask.
See, that's why you got to. I got to get the bag of beans. You know, the bean bag out there. So, because what if she
Yes.
wants the beans? What
What
if she wants
Brandon's bag
What
of
if she wants the
beans?
bean bag?
Shane H. Wilder says, "Non-binary donkey. Isn't that just the Dem party?"
Pretty much.
It's a zebra.
Corey Anderson says, "Hate to break it to you, OC, but most places aren't hiring under 18 anymore."
Plenty of them are. Grocery stores hire bikers all the time that are like 15 or 16. We hired a 16-year-old kid at the diner.
My first
Now he's
job,
like 18 or 19. It's awesome.
My first job was 16 pushing carts. So
Yep, we had
grocery
a
store.
waiter
I think
at the
I
diner.
was doing very similar work and stocking shelves.
Yes.
Shop and save.
I loved that job in a weird way. Pushing
Yeah.
carts. Shane H. Wilder says, "Brandon thinks Zack Snyder is a snack."
I think Zack Snyder's directing is a snack, and would love for the return of the Snyderverse. Come back, Zack.
Come back.
Corey Anderson says, "I bet there are animal products in Billy's clothes, car and makeup."
I am sure there are.
Yeah, but then she wouldn't be able to virtue signal.
True.
All right, Shane H. Wilder says, "The possum was playing possum?"
Yep, that's it.
That's
Nothing
exactly
else.
what happened.
Bastard.
Dingus Khan says, "Vegan is Old English for lousy hunter."
If it's true, it makes sense. If it's misinformation, I don't care.
Yeah. Saw a Rumble rant here from the Quiet Part pod. Let me see what. Yep, it says $20 for Brett to buy Olivia a burger.
I want Taco Bell. But yes, I'll amend your statement. I'm surprised he didn't.
Does Taco Bell have like a burger? Because they
No,
make
but they
like
have
It's
chicken.
Taco Bell.
They have
Not Burger
they have
Bell. What are
chick-
you talking about?
They sell
They
stuff
have
that's
chicken
off-brand all the time.
Popper nugget things. No, but he I think he was debating between that and telling you once again to make babies. Of course.
Oh, okay.
That's what he called it and did last night on IRL. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I told him.
Everyone, I know, I was watching.
Yeah.
Everyone, every time, like certain people from the Discord
No,
that know me will call in.
Anybody.
A lot of,
Anybody
well, no,
asks-
I'm saying a lot of people will call in and be like, by the way, Brett, have babies.
Yep, and every time somebody asks, I push it back a month.
No, he doesn't.
Because you can't. You guys, did you
Can't tell me
not
what to
learn in the beginning of the episode that you can't tell Brett what to do? Now
What is that called? It's got a name.
you have to find a way to have a kid now.
Pathological command avoidance, I
Yeah.
think is what.
Don't have babies then.
You have to find
How
a
does
way
that
to have a
work?
kid without
You
having a
can't
kid
make
now.
me. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Pat the Plumber says, I have grown an irrational fear that when I open YouTube, you guys aren't going to be here. I need my drive home PCC.
Yeah, that's called
love.
Well, it's called love, but it's also called non-PCC-phobia. It's basically the fear of no PCC is what that is.
It's a scary thing.
Yeah, it is.
You must have been terrified during those couple of weeks when I was out sick.
Bro was shaking in his boots.
Yeah. That was a rough time. I'm
Yep.
still coughing.
Yep.
Shane H. Wilder says the cringe was straight out of Silence of the Lambs. Olivia Cringe has effed my algorithm without even common courtesy of dinner and a movie.
Hey, don't blame me. You didn't have to click the links. Don't blame me.
I'm going to read Josie's again.
Yes.
From 1776 X Josie. Tell Figaro he is handsome, Brett. Figaro, you are very handsome.
Oh, man. I know she's out picking up her kid, too.
He
so
just
that's
took
even more
directions.
evil. He did. So tell him to
Yeah, but I
keep
knew
the
she
kid
wasn't going to be
together.
watching it this
Oh,
point.
I'm
You're a
clipping
regular
that.
Billie Eilish at
Can
this point now.
Somebody clip that and send it to me, like DM me a clip so I can send it to Josie, please. Thank you.
Shane H. Wilder says, aw, snap, Josie in the chat. Let's effing go.
Let's go. We love Josie here.
Pat the Plumber says, Brett is handsome. Figaro, meh.
Why not both?
Damn.
¿Por qué no los dos? ¿Por qué no los
Didn't you
dos?
take like multiple years of Spanish?
Yeah, I had to make sure I remembered that correctly.
Okay.
¿Por qué no los dos? It means why not both?
Okay.
I slept in Spanish class.
I slept in sign language, which is actually the worst class to close your eyes in because
You kind of need
kind
those,
of need
yeah.
them open.
At least
This
I could
first
listen to
period, there was
Spanish.
nothing I could do about it.
Sue Thomas would be very
She would be
disappointed in you.
pissed. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder says, blasphemy, Pat. I'm a simple man with simple tastes. I see Figaro photo. I hit the like button.
True. Also, chat, Mocha's birthday is a week from today. Mocha's 12th birthday. Think we can pressure Brett into making her cute of the day on her B-day?
You don't even have to. I'll do it. That's
Oh,
fine.
hell yeah. So be ready for Mocha's
Or will I?
birthday bash next Thursday, even though she won't be here. We're still going to celebrate her Royal Highness of Derpistan. I can't. Okay, just keep going. My brain's like...
Are you okay there?
Yeah, I was trying to think of the
Welcome
right
to my
phrasing, but the
world.
Royals say so much weird shit.
I'm having that.
Ethan
dyslexia
Miller,
thing.
a member of the PCC channel for 2 months. Thank you so much. Says, I've never had a job I hated. I grow where I'm planted. Happiness is a choice. Read Man's Search for Meaning, please. It helps. Here's the thing. Outside of the job I had right before I came to work here, because I got this job, which was a fantastic opportunity, I would usually stay at the jobs that I had. Not because I loved them or hated them, but just because I needed a job because skating was more important to me. So it didn't really matter whether I found meaning in my work. Just as long as I could pay my bills.
I don't disagree with this, but dude, I'm just throwing this out there. There is a version of happiness that you don't have to choose that comes naturally, and that, in my opinion, is the best one.
Things are great, but they could be better.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shane says, pray for Olivia as she has to deal with us Discord. I'm avoiding that one. I still believe that the YouTubers who are saying that one live are short-sighted. I think that eventually YouTube will start banning people for that one again.
Yeah, no. I mean, most of you are an absolute treat, absolute delight. I really enjoy running the Discord. It's actually been quite fun. It's just every once in a while you get one.
100% of you are great 90% of the time.
That's pretty much what it is.
Dingus Khan of Gongolia says, Brett, in your opinion, did Fruit of the Loom have a cornucopia?
It did.
I do not.
What?
I do not.
Did the Monopoly Man have a monocle?
I don't know.
Berenstein or Berenstain?
It was never. All that one proves is how shitty the teachers we were just talking about were.
Was it Berenstain or Berenstain?
One's a pronunciation.
Brett is just trying to think he's better than everyone. He definitely thought all of them.
The monocle one I could see falling for because I never really.
It's the
paid
Planters
attention to
peanut
it.
guy.
Had the monocle?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one they killed.
The monocle also I think of Ace Ventura when he says, "You must be the Monopoly guy."
Okay. One last question.
Shit, I didn't even think about that. That's
Curious
crazy.
George, the monkey.
What about him?
Does he have a tail?
I have no idea.
Good instinct.
In
Good
the
instinct.
live action movie.
Good
or no,
instinct.
I'm
Yes
thinking
or
I'm
no?
thinking of Monkey Trouble. That wasn't a live action. I'm thinking of Monkey Trouble. Never mind.
Do you have a good instinct? Yes or no?
Yes.
He doesn't have a tail.
Yeah. That no
Isn't that
feels
weird?
like no feels like the right answer because of the way you phrased the
I
question.
know. I was trying
so
to ask it in a way that wasn't giving it away, but Brett's just virtue
The
signaling.
Berenstain one never made sense to me. That one always looked the way that it was.
Have you ever fallen for a Mandela? Is there one you can think of?
I'm sure. The trailer for the movie The Mandela Effect is one of the worst trailers I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'll have to see if I can find any that seem believable.
I at one point believed the cornucopia one.
You did. See, he was virtue signaling.
I don't anymore because I saw the videos people made of people making their own Fruit of the Loom shirts and selling them and then giving them to thrift stores to then implant false memories in people's heads.
I have one more and then we'll move on.
Okay.
What is the big peanut butter brand called? The biggest peanut butter brand. Starts with the J.
What about it?
Jif?
See, he got it. People think it's Jiffy for some reason. I thought it was Jiffy for a long time.
They think it's Jiffy.
Yeah, but it's Jif.
Jif.
I thought it was Jiffy. Why did I think it was Jiffy? Like, there's another one that's like close to that, I think. Skippy. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skippy is
That's
why.
dead ass why.
Yeah.
All it proves is that our brains are scrambled messes and that's
There's too much input.
Yep.
There's way too much input nowadays. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I need to dial it down from like 15 to about 4.5.
I see people saying Jiffy right now too. Yeah. It was Berenstein, yes. Berenstein.
It's Giphy. All right?
Oh,
it's
God,
Giphy. I don't care what the
if you
creator
say GIF,
says. Fuck
you're
him.
wrong. It's GIF.
That is true.
Giphy Pop.
GIF.
It's
GIF,
Giphy
GIF,
Pop.
GIF.
I don't care what the
G.
creator said.
All right, move on.
All right. Well, you guys are the ones saying that Berenstain is wrong, and that's the actual name
I know,
of the people.
but they were always the Berenstein Bears. Also, Berenstain Bears doesn't flow as well off the tongue.
Yeah.
Berenstein Bears flows.
I think it's anti-Jewish sentiment that has turned that one on its head. That's what I think it is.
Alex Steen or Alex Stein?
Yeah. Alex Stein. Alex Steen.
Alex Stain.
Last night's IRL was fantastic because I literally didn't have to say anything the whole time. Alex and Tim talked the whole time.
Yep.
That's my type of IRL.
Yep.
Could have slept if I wanted to.
Must be nice.
I did fall asleep on an episode of IRL once, but it was in the post show. All right. Shane Wilder says, back in the day, kids just drank Scissorp and liked it. Well, you shouldn't be doing that either.
I was partial to promethazine myself.
I mean, that is Scissorp.
Specifically, there's
a
couple different kinds.
And the Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, there was a couple of different ways, and everybody's like, yeah, you got to put it in Sprite and blah blah blah. But everybody had their own way in Chicago. It was weird.
Don't do it. Don't do it, guys.
Don't do it all the time.
You see what happened to Lil Wayne? He went through like super mega withdrawal.
He was drinking this shit like it was water, though. It's like, okay, your liver's gonna die, dude. Like way before you do. So.
All right. Greg Dubier says, I worked 9 years at the lowest level. I was essentially told we will never promote you. I almost quit on the spot. I didn't because I have bills to pay. 4 months later, found a better company I enjoy. Fantastic.
Yep.
What do you do, Greg Dubier? I'm
question.
curious to know.
Greg.
I don't know, but that's where it's at. Some people, get stuck and some people cradle that excuse of, well, I'm just going to stay here and just ride it out. I can't find anything else, or I don't want to go through switching all my bank accounts over. Sometimes it really is just look for something else. However, whatever speed, whatever pace it takes, get the hell out of something that's really making you unhappy.
Yep.
Not saying rage quit, but there are ways out. You just have to look for them and find them and want them bad enough, and you will work to get out of them. That's the thing.
Shane H. Wilder says, look, I did the Ice Bucket Challenge and sent money to the ALS Society, but you know me, I'm a giving person. Also, anyone remember Chubby Bunny?
I do remember that was when you stuffed a bunch of marshmallows in your mouth and you said Chubby Bunny until you couldn't say it anymore.
Still safer than what everyone's doing nowadays.
I love the look.
There's a mild choking hazard possibility involved there, but other than that, you're not eating detergent, so I'd say it's okay.
Everybody's making fun of me for like pathologically avoiding somebody telling me what to do, but the opposite end of that is you end up shoving whatever marshmallow bunnies in your mouth until you choke to death.
It's called Easter. I just eat Peeps.
Don't do it.
You like Peeps?
Yeah.
Peeps are good. Peeps are underrated. People don't like them. I like Peeps.
Put them in the
And
microwave
candy corn.
Just watch them fire.
All right, let's see here. Pat the Plumber says Brando would push the red button. Sorry, Brett.
Red button.
What red button? Are we talking about like Men in Black? Don't push the red button,
it's the
or
one
like
where
is there
it's
an
like-
actual red button we're talking about here?
There's if you push the blue button, everyone survives. If you push the red button, all the people. And if less than 50% of blue. So if red wins, everyone that picked blue will die, but the red survive. You pick the red because you stay alive either way.
Everyone in the world has to take a private vote by pressing a red or blue button. If more than 50% of people press the blue button, everybody survives. If less than 50% of people press the blue button, only the people who pressed the red button survive. Which button would you press?
It's a very complicated scenario, all things considered.
I think most people are selfish enough to push the red, so I'm pushing it because I don't trust enough people to push the blue that everyone would survive. Like if I push it, I don't trust that everyone else would also do that.
Setup, right?
This is the
Dark Knight scenario.
No,
yeah,
it's not a 1-to-1 comparison, but it's
if
fairly
you have
close.
if you have hope in humanity, and it works out like the Dark Knight, then yeah, you're gonna go for blue.
I don't have hope in humanity.
You know what the best part
of
that was like when he throws the button out the
Give
window.
me the detonator.
It was like this big of a hole in the window, and the fact that he was able to get it through it at all was
the
like
accuracy
a
that Debo had. Yeah, no,
Debo,
totally.
I was like, and they picked Debo specifically because he looks like the dude who
when he stands
the
up.
only way it could have been funnier is if they got Mike Tyson to do it.
Yeah. Which would be like, give me the detonator. I'll do what you should have done 10 minutes ago.
And he just crushes it with his bare hands.
And then bites his ear off. Yeah. I could see it.
All right.
Where were we?
All right. Shane H. Wilder says, I clipped and posted Brett for Josie. Olivia.
There's a lot of names, but yes, thank you. I also sent her a clip I got from somebody in chat. She said outstanding in all capital letters, as she should.
Greg Duvier says information security analysis. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Cool.
The ISA.
Shane H. Wilder says, I like peeps because you are my peeps.
Hey, Pete.
Daw.
Pete. Sorry.
Das Not Cool, which is not me, says Emily could just be inadvertently advocating for trad wives.
I love Das Not Cool. He's one of my Discord people. He's quite awesome. And he's the one that sent me the other clip in a DM as well to send to Josie.
What is trad? Educate me.
I mean, stay-at-home mom cooks everything from scratch.
It means that you wear performative floral nightgowns and just act like a traditional influencer with a ring light, except for you post baking videos rather
and you make
than slut content.
Cheez-Its from scratch or whatever the heck it was.
Okay.
That's what it is.
I mean, really, like, to actual trad, you wouldn't be using your phone and posting it, but you would still be doing those things, I guess.
Yes. That is
and
correct.
actually dress more modestly.
Yep. It's where you go once you leave the.
Traditional. Okay, I see.
Oh, I thought he like understood. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't know what we. Okay, no. Thank you, chat. I put them both together and we're good.
Thank you, Tyrone, the big black cat.
Sorry, guys.
The fact that you don't know is you were probably happier beforehand.
Yeah.
You should remain happy.
Yeah, no, I'm like, oh, okay, so nothing has changed. We just abbreviated. That's fine.
Yep.
We did that a lot too. It's okay.
It's a skin suit you wear of traditional beliefs, where somehow your traditional beliefs also build you like massive internet followings that you can then monetize and use for attention. That's what it is. All right. Make sure I got through everything here. Got everything.
I think there was another Rumble rant.
Was there another one? Did I miss one?
I think you missed another from Quiet Part Pod.
Did I?
I think so.
Let me see if I can find it.
I don't know.
I'll make sure that I didn't miss it here. Oh, was it this one? Yes. The Quiet Part Pod says, Olivia, Mocha shares my mom's birthday.
That's cute. Well, I'll make sure to wish your mom a happy birthday when I guys, I have to mea culpa really quick. I used to forget Mocha's birthday. Like, I would mix it up because I got Chloe on May 14th. And I got Mocha on May like 20 something. And for some reason I thought it was May 11th. It's not May 11th. Where'd that come from? Couldn't tell you. It's May 7th, but I thought May 11th. Maybe they sound similar. Then I thought it was May 9th. Dude, it could be a different day and I'm just remembering. But I looked back and found photos from when I gave her little snacks and it said May 7th every year. So it has to be May 7th. And so there was one day Brett and I were driving and I literally said like 10 different times, May 7th, May 7th, because guys, really bad last year. It was like 11 p.m. We were like, oh my god, it's the cat's birthday, and we usually try to give them a little extra treats, and so we were like, oh no. I felt so bad. And we both worked that day. It was a long day. I had worked, I think
I'm
I
sure
worked
the
like,
cats were fine with it.
hey, shut up. I think I worked like 10 hours a day. I had to go in early. Someone called off and it was like a whole thing. And then, yeah, by the time I got back home, I was like,
Mocha is
Sally.
not smart enough to know the difference, but that's okay.
Be nice.
We love Mocha. We love mocha.
I do not like your tood.
I'm letting it hang there like Piers Morgan letting Russell Brand flip through the Bible.
She's going to have an extra special birthday this year.
All right, guys, before we go, would you all hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel? If you are new here and you've not subscribed here yet already, please and thank you. Remember that you can submit your pets for Cute of the Day, ladies and gentlemen.
Submit your pits.
Please don't do that. Or if you do submit it to Brandon,
so gross.
You can submit your pets to me at Brett Dasovic. You can submit your pits to Olivia.
No, to Brandon. I did not want the pits. Brando wants the pits. He's gonna get a bunch of grown-ass men.
No, it's gonna be women that don't shave their underarms, and it's gonna be the daily cringe of the day. We're just gonna start putting up hairy female underarms every day.
Submit your pits to Brandon.
We're so unserious.
That's
Okay, continue.
Guys, hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. All right, Brandon, where can they find you?
You guys can find me, as always, at Brando Boonies on Insta and on X. Send me all the pit photos. Fill it up. Brad Pitt is fine, too. Throw him in there. Why the hell not? Let's get nuts. Pit everything.
Nuts. It's getting real weird up in here.
Thank you to the Dasovics for having me back, and thank you to you guys for having me back. Much love. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Guys, you should go to timcast.com, hit join us, join our Timcast Discord members only server where you guys can go and chat with people like me. You can chat with Brett. You could maybe even chat with Brando. But you know who you do get to see? Mocha. So you should do that. Other than that, you guys, if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me on X or on Instagram. That is at Olivia Dasovic. I always have a fun time co-hosting. This has been great. So I will see you guys in Cinco de Mayo.
Okay. If you guys want to follow me, Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Remember that PCC is live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, it's also a great way to help us out is to rate and review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. So thank you so much for that. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show. Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We will see you then. Bye. Everybody.